My name remains Mazi Chinedu from Olu province of Biafra land, and today is the 3rd day of September 2023. I welcome each and every one of you to welcome your friends and well wishers onto this hallowed platform. This is a revolutionary radio instituted by Mazi who is the leader, the supreme leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, but he is in the Nigeria secret police dungeon, illegally detained, because he was illegally renditioned from Kenya with the tacit support of Britain, whose passport Mazi was holding, or is still holding, even at the point of rendition in Kenya, and sent illegally back to Nigeria, breaking international laws. Britain, Kenya, and Nigeria, they broke international laws. They didn't have any regard for the rule of law, for human rights. Britain is always trying to, shamefully champion Britain. They always tell us or give lectures on human rights and maintenance of the rule of law. But Britain directly involved in renditioning one of our citizens, Mazi Nnamdi Okuchukwu, right from a third country, Kenya, to Nigeria. Something they prevented in the 1982 or 83, when the then head of a Nigerian state, late Buhari, also tried to kidnap Umaru Dikko, although albeit Umaru Dikko was a criminal, and he is never, or he has never been a citizen of the United Kingdom. Umaru Dikko stole billions of dollars, naira, and all of them from Nigeria and ran down to Britain, where Britain secured him. When the then military head of state, Buhari, tried to kidnap him from Britain, they were caught. The agents sent to do the job, they were caught by the same Britain. And people went to jail. Some 8 years, 3 years, some people were deported, and Britain had a heavy diplomatic role for over a criminal, Umaru Dikko, who was not even a British national. He never held the British passport. But Britain had to in order to protect a criminal, because he brought money stole money from Nigeria to Britain. Britain has to jail people involved, both Nigeria agents and the Mossad agents that were hired and other collaborators, and deported some people, and also made sure that they had diplomatic roles with Nigeria for many years. But here, Britain hypocritically is a hypocritical country. See, they planned and renditioned a British citizen named Mazi Nnamdi Okuchukwu from Kenya to Nigeria. The reason why, because he was logically, legally, legitimately advocating for self-determination of Biafran people through a referendum. But because it was not for the interest of Britain. Britain is the number one, thief in the whole world. Britain is number one. They steal from very impoverished countries, and they will come around and tell you that, oh, they are fantastically corrupt, oh, they are this and that. They are not. They renditioned Mazi Nnamdi to Nigeria and kept him there. It is a direct command of Britain. This is how they show people their true color. Every day they stand without being ashamed. They stand and start telling people about the rule of law. You have to maintain the rule of law. You have to, maintain democracy. Their own democracy, maintenance of democracy is complete for their interest. Complete. It doesn't matter who died or who was slaughtered, who gets slaughtered. That is not their problem. This is the world we are in. But we have discovered their system. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, even upon being rendition, he was sent to the court, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu defeated the Nigeria government in their own court. And the Nigeria Appeal Court gave a verdict on the 13th day of October 2022 that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be discharged and acquitted. And not only that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should never stand trial in any Nigerian court any longer. But since 13th of October 2022 till today, the Nigerian government refused to obey their own court. They refused to obey the rule of law, the court order, their own court order, because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu committed no crime known to Nigerian law. You understand? That is the world we are sitting. That is the evil world we are in. When Britain tells you about democracy, they are telling you about installing a puppet, their own puppet that will be helping them to steal gas and oil and all the minerals in Nigeria and in other African countries. That is what they mean by their democracy. Very shameless. That is who they are. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu say we are going to defeat Britain with superior arguments. That is what we are doing. Because what is good for the gays is good for the gander also. Remember that Britain, Margaret Thatcher called Nelson Mandela when she was MP, member of parliament, during the ANC struggle. British government called ANC a terrorist organization. They labeled Mandela a terrorist, an international terrorist. If you understand me. But they didn't stop apartheid to be kicked out of South Africa. Do you see it? I could remember when Theresa May came, when she was the prime minister, he came to visit South Africa, and on the way to Robben Island, a British journalist, that's why I love them anyway, when they are talking about their politics, internal politics, these Western journalists, you see them bring their, their profession, exhibit their profession without fear of favor. Once they are dealing with their internal affairs, they don't miss words. But once if they are dealing on international politics like African politics and news about Africa, it is there they try to deceive, polish news in order to deceive. The man was asking Theresa May. He said, now you are going to visit a person that you labeled a terrorist during your time, I think as a member of parliament in the UK government. What are you going to say about it? I watched it. Even the woman, the British Prime Minister as of then, Theresa May, some years back, was not comfortable. She was a kind of stuttering. The man was asking if he want to get out from the question. The man will bring him back. He said, now you label this man a terrorist, but now you are going to visit his solitary confinement in Robben Island. He brought him back. He brought her back, and the woman was stuttering, talking gibberish. That is the way they are going to talk. Because the restoration of Biafra will even herald a new beginning, so that we will treat with each other, with Britain, with America, with all countries, with mutual respect, mutual benefit. Not what they are doing in Africa today. Not the exploitation that they are holding in Africa. They continue doing in Africa, exhibiting in African countries today. in the name of using democracy, because this democracy is just a term coined by the Europeans in order to continue their neo-colonialist agenda in Africa. What I'm telling you is reality. How many democratic countries in Africa are progressing? Is Cameroon not a democracy? Where their president, that one, I don't know, the great-grandfather, is still, since 50-something years, he's in power. Is it not democracy installed by the Europeans that made the Bongo family to continue ruling? What of Togo? Yasimba Yatema. A family. Remember that the father of this present president, the former president Yatema, he was paid to kill the first president of Togo that said no to France's neo-colonialist agenda. He refused to sign the pact, the secret pact for continuation of colonization, signed by every francophone president that enters power. That man refused, and they paid Yaseme Yadema whether $600 or $800 as of that time in order to kill the man direct. And they killed them. That fine president was killed, Olympio, if I'm not mistaken. He was killed by Yadema, and after dying, his son took over till today. And today we are hearing that the European Union force, they are mobilizing in Togo. You know that is the continuation of the scramble for Africa. But this time around, it is no more business. It's not going to be business as usual. Remember, America tried all their best in order to subjugate Afghanistan, but they got resistance from the people. The people, it doesn't matter with your military power. Once the population is against you, there is nothing you can do. I am telling you, it's a matter of time. Who is in power today? Who runs the government of Afghanistan today? It is the Taliban. The people that we are called names, killed by Americans, done everything. But it doesn't matter the number of years. They resisted because it is their land. A foreigner will come and go, but the owner of the land will remain. So they are in power now. And the world is dealing with them. You have to deal, you have no choice. Because you have to respect international laws, the sovereignty laws, Westphalian sovereignty laws. That is the reality. So it doesn't matter what the Europeans or the West, they have the weapons, they have everything. But we, the indigenous people in Africa, we are in our continent. We are patient. The Europeans, they are because for them, ECOWAS is wasting time in order to go to war against Niger. Now they come direct, stationing in Togo their military forces. But you can win the war, but you can to win the peace will be the problem. America won the war in Afghanistan. I could remember when George W. Bush was black, happy on television that they bombed the Tora Bora with a Tomahawk missile. After all those things, the end justifies the means. Who is there today? America tried everything in order to find a saving face to run away from Afghanistan. Because you can bomb, you can occupy people with military force, but you come and rule now. That is the problem. One day you will run away. Once the people are against you, there is nothing you can do. It doesn't matter, it takes 1 year, it can take 10 years, it can take 20, 50 years, you must surely run away. That is the reality. Because the population, African populace, is now opening eyes on our suffering in that continent. That, they smartly installed people, that are representing only their benefit in the name of democracy. Today, Africans are waking up. You understand? That is why today I'm going to talk on a topic that says genuine Pan-Africanism. That is the topic of our discussion today. Therefore, I want each and every one of you listening to me to invite your friends and well-wishers onto this hallowed platform. This is where we preach the gospel of liberation. The gospel of genuine Pan-Africanism is not a making mouth service. No. We say it the way it should be, so that we shall progress, so that Africa will restore its space in this beautiful earth we are in. Because we have been a people cajoled, subjugated, enslaved in any way, continuous exploitation till today. But it is time to say no. And we are doing it systematically. That is why we are agitating for the restoration of Biafra. IPOB is championing it. And our supreme leader is Mazi, who is still in the enemy dungeon. Albeit being released, ordered to be released, discharged and acquitted by the Nigerian court. But the Nigerian government, they don't obey their own law, their own court order. And it's a democracy, isn't it? Very ironic. But they are the people that are trying to go to restore democracy in Niger. Britain is using them. France is using them. The West is using them just for their interests. Do you see? I continue saying this. History is repeating itself. Africans were used to conquer Africans. During the transatlantic slavery. What started this transatlantic slavery? When the Portuguese merchants, they were coming to West Africa, buying and selling, bringing their goods and taking African goods also in exchange. Buying and selling, normal. Until they came one time, I think in 16th century, 15 something. Now they own our 15th century is 14 something, 1400s. The seller of that ship say, no, let us try to enter inwards in order to look for other type of merchandise. And he ventured inside in the in the interior of present-day Mauritania, and they captured some people there. Some people, Africans, about whether 10 or 100 of them. They captured them and secretly took them to their ship, and off they went. What happened when they arrived in Portugal with these people? These people started pleading that, look, spare us, do not take us, do not enslave us. We will rather help you become your agents in Africa, so that we will capture our brothers. We have people that we have been waging wars. They now remember their enemies, other African tribes that are their enemies. We will help you conquer them. Now we become your enemy, your agents. You empower us. And that talk, they found favor in the king of Portugal that time. And then after signing some treaty with those people, either 10 or 100 of them, I couldn't remember, but it is either 10 or 100. Either 10 of them. Now, do you know what happened? The European, the Portuguese, they brought back these slaves. Instead of arriving in the shores of Africa and turning against them, these people fulfilled their promise and carried them to other tribes with their arms. Their then guns as of that time. And used them, guided them, used the Portuguese now, guided them and went as either clan or other tribe and captured a whole people. Now the Portuguese were happy. But inside them, they were surprised. What type of people are these? People that can sell their brothers. And they remarked that thing, that mentality. And that is what they have been dealing with. When you talk about black race, African, they label them in the black book, the Europeans, the West. People that can sell their own. for their own private interest. He never changed it today. And they empower these people, and they become their agents, and all other things were history. You know, that was the start of transatlantic slavery. They are still doing the same thing today. And let me tell you also, do you know why when they established the first church, the Roman Catholic Church arrived first in Onitsha in 19th century, 1857 to be precise, if I'm not mistaken? Why they accepted them? It is not because of any other thing to worship or no. Onitsha accepted them because in order for them to use them as foreigners with the power to be dealing with the Obosi people, Obosi. All this I'm telling you is they are historical facts, because they have been having skirmishes with their neighbors, their own brothers. Obosi, you know, these clannish problems, you know, that is common, which is normal. But the mistake Africans are making, or made and are still making, is collaboration with the white people, with strangers, in order to deal against their own. This thing made the European other races to label Africa as traitors. Till today, it is in all their books, all their secret books, that Africans are traitors, self-traitors. You understand? Something that other races don't do. When the Chinese were in their civil war, they were fighting each other. Normal, because every race in this world, there are problems everywhere. In Europe fought tribal wars more than in Africa. I used to say this. I want you to research whatever we say here on Radio Biafra. It's not we don't say things because we just say it. No, these are historical facts. The Visigoths, the Gothics, they wanted to kill themselves into extinction. You understand? How do you call these pirates? Today you are using it as a secret society mantra. The pirates, they are the Scandinavians. They go for them. The Western Europeans fear them like anything, because they say they go like lightning. They don't know how they come. They don't know how they go. The pirates, they kill themselves until they want to, kill themselves into extinction. In Europe, Europeans, they were cannibals. But after they started thinking, they said, no, let us stop these wars. As I was saying, when Chinese were having wars between themselves, Japan tried to benefit from brothers fighting in order to invade them, to colonize them. And when these warring factions, Chinese warring factions, saw that another stranger, foreigner, is coming to invade them, one didn't make an agreement with Japan to side in order to kill the other. No. The two of them, they quickly, as wise people, two of them quickly made peace with themselves and said, look, if as we are fighting, we are brothers, so we have internal issues, we are killing ourselves, no problem. It's better we kill ourselves than foreigners come to kill us. You understand? So they quickly made peace and started resisting Japan as a common people. So that after everything, if they finish fighting, wedding off strangers, now if they want, let them continue their own war. It's their own thing, brotherly fight. It doesn't matter. That is how wise people reason. But Africans don't reason like that. That is why I say Africans, they have not reached a mental, that advanced mental state of enlightenment. I used to say it here, and think about what I'm saying. How can you, two brothers, for example, in a family, if two brothers, they can be fighting, but if a foreigner come, if they are wise, they will make peace, even temporary truce, and now face the foreigner. That is how wise people do. That is how wise people behave, because they are wise. It is wisdom. But if a foreigner came now and meet them fighting and join one, now one will say, yes, I have a partner now, help me kill my brother. After killing your brother, the foreigner will turn against you and will enslave you. You understand? That is the mistake of Africans. They allow the West in order to continue using them, so that impoverishing Africans, they don't care. They don't care. Any person that rises up, Thomas Sankara rose up in 1983 as a young, vibrant fellow that wants this neo-colonialism out of Burkina Faso. They still use his brother to kill him. And all the things he worked, all of them, they turned them round. That man is still in Blaise Compaoré. He's still in Côte d'Ivoire. He's in exile. What these people fail to understand is that it doesn't matter you are a billionaire, you are a president, or you are whatever, you will die one day. When Silva Berlusconi died, I was marveled, because this man was a man that I read one time. His doctor was boasting that Silva Berlusconi, he will continue making Silva Berlusconi 50 years younger than his age. He get #1 kidney. Every time any organ that is not has any slightest problem, they will change it. So he boasted that Silva Berlusconi will live very long life. But it is not like that. You understand? It is not like that. Everybody must end. Everybody must be extinguished. This oxygen you are breathing, one day it will no more function. You will no more breathe it. The heart will stop. What matters is the legacy. Because whether you are from Africa, from America, everybody, the ultimate end of every human being is death. The problem is, what legacy did you lay in this planet Earth? That is the thing. But all these African politicians, they don't care about it. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Look at Paul Biya of Cameroon. Shamelessly, Macron used to stand up, welcome him. That man is no more living in Cameroon self. He lives in Switzerland. He comes to Cameroon. They carry him to come to Cameroon only during election time, election period. That is only time by his great grandchildren. He don't know what is happening in Cameroon. But the Europeans are having field day over there. They made the beer less costly than water. Water is more costly than beer, alcohol in Cameroon. Drink yourself into stupor. Dance makosa. Do any other thing, but don't talk about politics. That is Cameroon for you. That is the truth. That is the truth. And France is happy. The Europeans, the West, they are happy. Oh, it's democracy. It's democracy. They're promoting democracy. Africans, we need to rise up and take our space, take charge of our destiny. It's not going to be palatable. We have forces to contend with. It is going to be a strategic war or fight. Strategic fight. Fight of wise fight. You understand me? That is why every time I say it, it's for those that are saying why some countries are going from another one colonization to another, talking of China, Russia, others. I disagree completely. You cannot wrestle yourself out of a powerful hand oppressor by yourself. You have to do it siding an opposing force, equal and opposing force to that your oppressor. America is today a separate country that detached themselves from Britain. Who helped them? It was France. Without France, America wouldn't be a country today. They would have been part of British colony till today. They wouldn't have had the government they have today. There would have been another type of government, maybe like Australia, bowing down to the Queen. Do you understand me? They wouldn't have been a powerful country they are today. If not of France. France was a powerful country as of that time, in the 18th century, was 19th century, early 19th century. France was powerful also. So, in order to remove themselves to fight a powerful country like Britain, I mean, the colonies, the 13 American colonies, they have to beg France to help them, and France came to their rescue, because France, no matter their European neighbors with Britain, they are having competitions. They are friendly enemies, or they were friendly enemies. You understand? So, America at that time, the Unionists, they use that benefit. They made use of that benefit between two fighting giants, and they brought one giant to side them. Did the France after colonize America? Is it not America today that is even being in front of France? Is France pursuing America like licking us? Is it not the same? Is it not it? You, in this world, you have to profit. Anywhere you should, you have your interest, you grab it. Even if it is temporal, grab it. No attachment of this sentiment. No, there is no sentiment in international politics. Anywhere you see, you are anything you can grab for your benefit. As of that time, you take it. If you go now, you use your God-given wisdom, because a country is filled up with people that has wisdom. Now you use your wisdom think tanks in order to wriggle out of the hold of that new strong person. That is how it is done. So when people say that Africa is trying to get out from one colonial master to another, I beg to disagree. It is lie. Why didn't France colonize America when they ran away from British colony with the tacit support of France? Direct support. They didn't hide it. They brought arms to fight against Britain. After, why didn't France recolonize America? But all these things you don't ask. You don't ask all these questions because you don't know. You are ignorant. Anything they talk. When you see people analyzing all these episodes, African episodes on mainstream media, people you see that they are intellectuals. You see that their understanding is highly limited. The way they see things is completely limited to reality. You understand me? You will see somebody when he's talking because he's a PhD from Cambridge. He has to talk for the interest of where he schooled in Britain. That is the truth. They don't tell you the reality, the bottom reality of things. No, they don't tell you. You see the analysis just like it doesn't reach the ground. So many of them, they don't make sense. So any person, any powerful country that you can align to, in order to get what you want, grab what you want as of that time, you grab it, you get something. In international politics, it is getting interest as of that time. If you grab that thing you want, you use your diplomacy might, every might, in order to wriggle, continue holding your interest. That is how it is. When Mandela came out from jail, he started visiting. He invited even people from both Palestine, friendly to them. And when he visited America, they were asking him, Mandela, you say you are championing democracy. Why are you making friends with people that are terrorists? Palestinians, terrorists. That is how they ask him. One thing Mandela Madiba answered them. He said the most mistake the West is making is thinking that their enemies should always be our enemies. That is not done. It's not done. When they were, after all, America sided with Britain in order to support apartheid. give them arms, encourage them to slaughter black people. Now, when you come to people that helped you, Cuba helped apartheid regime. I mean, anti-apartheid. Cuba, Fidel Castro helped the ANC. China helped. Even Russia helped them in order to gain independence from apartheid. Now, when you come out, they want you to just hate them because you are. They will order you just hate those that that helped you. Does it make sense? And you will just blindly accept. This is a war, a world whereby we are all equal. In this world, equally created, all of us came out nude. No human being came out from the mother's womb with a clothes or with any other thing. No. The same way everybody came out. The same way I come out from my mother's womb is the same way Joe Biden, the American president, came out from his mother's womb. Everybody in this planet Earth. And all of us is going to die. So why do we feel inferior? It doesn't make sense. Before I go to the subject matter today, I will just read I think one or two headlines, news headlines, please. Okay. Days when Naira will be stronger than US dollar is coming back. Redeem the Church Overseer Pastor Adebayo predicts. That is, let me see, September 3, 2023 news headline. Are you seeing it? I say India, they are selling stupidity to people. This that the GOs, this so-called God of men or dog of men of dogs, I don't know. They are selling stupidity to the people, to the population. Days when Naira will be stronger than US dollar is coming back. All these things is once they made an agreement at the backyard, secrecy. Tinubu will call them and tell them, look, you have to brainwash people to support my government. And they will come and start prophesying. Oh, we are predicting, we are prophesying. It will be so. The Komoyi have been saying that Nigeria will be paradise since 1986, praying for Nigeria till today. The same thing. But the problem is the people that are going on all these things, the people that are believing all these things, they continue acting like animals, believing. You don't ask this man, say, Oga sir, how is Naira going to be stronger? When you manufacture nothing, when your source of foreign income is only natural resources like petroleum. Even though you don't refine petroleum, you drill it but you don't refine it. How is it going on? How? When you import everything into Nigeria, you import everything. So you are working for other countries. The whole citizens are working for other countries. But because when you are using foreign products, you are slave to all these people. You are making them to expand their factories, their industries by importation. Every time you are in China, imported. There are people in China with no need of traveling to and fro. Our people now, they know, in order to cut costs, one person will go to China and stay. Others will be in Nigeria. Just they will transmit money and he will buy goods and import. So we are just, you see that we are just doing boy for Chinese, mostly. And only taking commission. Because everything you import, you don't manufacture nothing. So how are you going to earn your reserve? I mean foreign reserve. How? Foreign currency. How? I read one time, last time, I think they said the foreign reserve, Nigeria foreign reserve is either $3 billion only. A country of 230 something million people. Reserve is foreign reserve, whether $3 billion. Whereas Gaddafi, during his time, he had a external reserve of more than $150 billion. Highest in Africa, with no external debt. That is why they killed that man, a Pan-Africanist. But here they are predicting to you, And in that church, once you say, people will say, amen. Say, okay, rise, let us pray. You see Neanderthals praying. You ask them, is this the way that Dubai became who they are today? By just predicting and everybody clapping and shouting hallelujah. Now, before you know it, magic wand, things change, and the country, Naira started having value over dollar. Can you, even all these type of headlines, other nationals are reading it. It is highly shameful for this to make a headline in Nigeria. It is highly shameful. That is why Nigeria shame every one of us. A pastor predicting, Naira will be more than dollar, and everybody is reading it. You are shouting amen. Ordinary electricity you don't have. If you want to set up a factory in Nigeria today, you will budget for an electric generator that will be either even more costly than the whole factory you are trying to set up. It will be engulfing a different money every day, fueling it to run your factory, because there is no electricity. These people will not tell you that, look, at least we need electricity 24/7. Don't Nigeria have the capacity of building a nuclear reactor? Let me ask. Don't Nigeria have the capacity of building a nuclear reactor so that Nigerians will have light, electricity? You see that this is a grand conspiracy in Nigeria by Britain. I say Britain, so that to deny Nigeria, the type of suffering they put in Nigeria is too unearthly suffering. All this so that the people will not rise up, because they know that when there is electricity, people will start doing something. You understand? There will be manufacturing, mostly by Biafrans. Igbo people will start making use of it. Instead of, in order to deal with Igbo people, they are suffering everybody. And no electricity. Everybody, you have the highest importers of electric generator is Nigeria in the world. And what all these politicians do, Britain encourages them, go outside, go Malaysia, go China, build a generator factory, so that you'll be sending it to Nigeria. That is what they do. They are suffering people unnecessarily. And the worst of it is this, that the people in Nigeria don't know that they are suffering artificially. It's artificial suffering. Some people are putting this suffering artificially. It is not natural. Now they use clergymen in order to sedate Nigerians, give them tranquilizers so that they continue sleeping. Oh, Naira, we rise up in Jesus' name. Everybody will say amen, and you start invoking the spirit of Naira to come and prayers. That is how America become a great country, isn't it? That is how Australia became what it is. Is that the way China became what it is today? Sometimes what is happening and things that is happening in Nigeria. I don't blame one of our brothers. The program is one of the media warriors. The program like this, he will be the comic in order to laugh. Otherwise, I'm telling you honestly. Otherwise, he so distant again when heart attack immediately, because the stupidity of Nigerians has no equality. I am telling you. Now people have said amen. Naira will be stronger than dollar. His son said by who? By Redeem the Church Overseer at the Pastor Adebayo. They know that they are con men. They are deceiving people, and they are doing it with seriousness, alacrity, all in the name of making money. All in the name of making money. They are scamming people. The worst part of it is that police, the Nigerian police, they will be looking for all these Yahoo boys, small boys that are looking for what they can get and eat. I am not condoning any of them, any evil, but why not go for all these big scammers that are sedating ordinary people with a so-called word of God and prayers. No, they don't. They will not do it because it's serving their purpose. That is the reason. We must continue. I will go straight to the topic of my submission, which is genuine Pan-Africanism. I want to just define a literal definition of Pan-Africanism. It's a general term that have as their common goal the unity of Africans and the elimination of colonialism and white supremacy from the continent. You know, they call it the goal. The common goal is the unity of Africans. They didn't define unity at what expense. The same way Nigeria unity. They don't define the unity. How? How can you have unity without equity? How can you have unity at some people's expense? How? They don't, you know, that only that unity. At what cost? At whose cost? Without equity, without justice, there will be no unity. That is what Africans should understand, and that is the reality. Because what brings problems is lack of equity, injustice. That is it. And that is why we are agitating for Biafra. Because we have no justice in Nigeria. We are being marginalized in Nigeria. Look at the whole race. They are not good enough to be in, you know, to be even a president. They are not good enough. In every corner, they are Igbo people, they are not good in Nigeria. But anywhere, in every other place in the world, we are making waves. We become the best. But in Nigeria, no, we are not good enough. We don't have no seaport in our land, no international airport, no. But we want peace to reign. Oh, peace, shouting one Nigeria, peace, unity. Is it not a scam? It is. So the Pan-Africanism, as they say, is a general term that have as their common goal the unity of Africans and the elimination of colonialism, white supremacy from the continent. Colonialism and white supremacy from the continent. And you ask how? The first people that brought this idea, let me tell you. Do you know that Azikiwe's name was never there? Oh, Chineke. Azikiwe that answered Zik of Africa, he was never there. Do you understand? You have people like Toussaint Louverture. That is one of the Haitian general and the most prominent leader of the Haitian revolution. You understand? As one of the pioneers of this Pan-Africanism ideology. Jean-Jacques Dessalines, also a Haitian revolutionist. Haile Selassie, Ethiopian, you know, Emperor Haile Selassie, that gave rise to Rastafari when he traveled to Jamaica and made the famous, disco. He came out and said that a time will come that Africans will come back home, and the whole Jamaica caught fire. And we started this movement of Rastafari. You understand? Also, one person they called Edward Wilmot Blyden. He was an American-Liberian educator. You listen, no? Patrice Lumumba, Julius Nyerere. Are you seeing it? Of Tanzania. Robert Sobukwe. You understand? He's a South African anti-apartheid revolutionary. Ahmed Sekou Touré of Guinea. These are the pioneers of this ideology of Pan-Africanism. Kwame Nkrumah, King Shuja II of Swaziland. You understand? Robert Mugabe, that was demonized by BBC and their masters. Thomas Sankara, Kwame Ture. This Kwame Ture was a prominent organizer in civil rights movement in the United States. and the Global Pan-African Movement, born in Trinidad. You understand? Dr. John Pombe Magufuli. Are you hearing? President of the 5th president of Tanzania. Muammar Gaddafi. We all know the great man that was killed in the most brutal way by the West. Sarkozy, Obama, all of them. Yoweri Museveni, who is still in power. These are the pioneers of this ideology of Pan-Africanism. Are you understand? Do you hear? Do you see anywhere they say Azikiwe? No mention of Azikiwe in the international African level. Azikiwe's name is never mentioned. That is why I'm saying now. Sometimes I'm not as primitive people, and that is it. Onye puta ya honwe onye Igbo ya riju afọ gote nwa nke ahụ nwete nwa small crumb of political power. Ge ho ya na-eko like this or diko ụwa niile ọ na-ahụ that place, that in his area. And ute ga-echi na-eto eche ma ọwụ ya ụwa niile ịmara that her from that sphere, from that look at a whole list of Pan-African ideologies. Nnamdi Azikiwe's name is never there. But in Igbo land, in Nigeria, he promoted himself to Zik of Africa. Don't worry, even the other time, Mazi, who will be joining me as usual in no distant time, he said it. Now, who knows Azikiwe in the international level as a Pan-Africanist? He's right. He's right. But for us, that is why I'm saying, primitive people. I can deal only one until he put like this. Now you start seeing that here in a mail with nonsense. Only put like this, only put $100,000 on the echo. Wanile, a marathon. This thing, that thing, one rich Kuwaiti, Jenyanketani. Just go Jenyanketani under few days. This is a very primitive character. I continue attacking this here so that we lower down ourselves, so that we will be able to inherit the world. Blessed is the humble, for they shall inherit the world. Remark that word and that statement. I tell you that the Bible contains Freemasonry puzzles. You know, you join, if you are able to join one thing or the other, you see that there is a secret meaning on it. It is true. Some places, from time to time, one thing, and it's true. When you are too proud, you lose the earth. That is what is happening. That is why we are losing even our land. We are losing it because of Ngala, for nothing. Okomoko, for nothing. Nonsense. Where is Azikiwe in the list? Nothing. We don't know that. We didn't know that it's an empty drum. An empty drum that knew that he didn't have nothing. And when he watching, you know, just a scammer. Britain, and he said he needed a limousine. He begged his masters, please, no make me shame. I will need limousines to be moving around so that my people will be seeing me as a big person. They said, no, you are looking for 2 limousines. Don't worry, we'll give you 5. Actually, limousine is British M16. If they are manipulating you, you will not even understand. But you cannot control the situation. You understand me? That is why today, what we are seeing in this struggle, I have come to understand that many of our people are being manipulated without knowing. Some of them they know, some of them they don't know. Because the West is nourishing that your selfishness. They nourish it. That is the work of the Secret Service. Look at how they are putting criminality. They want to use criminality in order to douse IPOB, the struggle, legitimate struggle we are doing. They put criminality, and the author of that criminality is joyously staying in his house, being used because of his personal interest, his selfish interest, without thinking one. From time to time, you have to think as a human being, saying, "Nah, this road I'm going, how will history remember me? How can I be torturing our people that we are trying to save?" It is the work of Western intelligence. They will be using you. Sometimes you might know, sometimes you will not know. You think that because they can use their agents, on the line, the third or fourth agent, in order to recruit you, and you feel that you are doing something. Living fine, you'll be living fine. Protection, they will tell you, don't worry, the government will not do you anything. Don't worry, you are invincible. Don't worry, you are doing everything. Hey, the government you are will protect you. Oh, Bina Zage, you will continue doing what you are doing. You don't know that you are being used for their interest. Remember, I'm talking about Pan-Africanism. But let me define Pan-Asianism. Pan-Asianism, their own definition, is an ideology aimed at creating a political and economic unity among Asia people. Do you see? They defined it precisely. Political and economic unity, not general unity. Because when you talk about general unity, that is why many people are calling for a United States of Africa, whereby Africa will be a giant country with one president, and it's laughable. Now, Pan-Americanism is the principle or advocacy of political or commercial and cultural cooperation among all the countries of North and South America. Do you see how they precise it? They bring about that, yes, Pan-Americanism, we have different countries. We have to come together politically. Advocacy of political and commercial and cultural cooperation. When you talk about cooperation, you talk about respect, mutual respect. It's not about slave and servant relationship, or slave master relationship, as Fulani used to say. They say their relationship with Fulani and Yoruba relationship is slave master and slave relationship. So the Yoruba should not forget. That is how they have been their relationship. But do you see how Pan-Americanism, they define their own? The same way Pan-Asianism define their own. But when you come to Pan-Africanism, they say just the goal is unity of Africans. You don't know, unity is very, very broad. At whose cost? Here they say, in other places they say political and economic unity, advocacy of political or commercial and cultural cooperation among all the countries of North and South America. Then Pan-Europeanism is the concept relating to all European countries, or the advocacy of political or economic unity among European countries. Do you see it? They mentioned that they should have countries, they have their differences, but all these things should be respected, so that they will focus towards a general European goal. But Africa, Pan-Africanism, the definition is very, very broad, very crude and broad. Unity. What kind of unity? At whose cost? That is why there is problems in Africa, because many people don't understand the definition of this, because it's too crude and unexplained, undetailed. Let me tell you, there will never be genuine Pan-Africanism without respect to our ethnic diversities, by granting independences or independence to various ethnic nationalities to avoid unnecessary frictions. Peace and unity comes with mutual respect, justice and equity. That is what we should understand. Peace and unity should come with mutual respect. Are you hearing what I'm saying? It is not a force of peace. You cannot force peace. Peace is a byproduct of equity, justice. It's just a byproduct. Do you understand me? It's a byproduct. It's not the starting point. It is a byproduct. You don't talk about peace. Pursue justice and equity. Once you get justice and equity, at least, now the resultant effect is peace. You have solved it. But when you start going unity, you fail it. You fail it. That is what Nigeria is. Unity. Oh, peace and unity. Even in their national anthem. Oh, peace and unity, forcing every unity at the expense of some people. Fulani are on the rampage. They are sponsoring them. And you want others to keep quiet. Oh, for law-abiding citizens. Oh, be law-abiding citizens. Let there be unity. It can never happen. It's just a pipe dream. You understand? Nigeria, for example, is the amalgamation of different nations under gunpoint, only serving the interests of the colonial creators. If you understand me? You know, I had some people, when they talk about, oh, what is going on in Africa, let it, Nigeria, let there be revolution, let there be coup, military coup. I laugh. I say, how many military coups have Nigeria gotten? How many military coups? Does it change anything? Does it change anything? It has been there. No, there shall never be any general revolution in Nigeria. It is impossible because of the way Nigeria is being structured by the Creator. When this side say yes, the other side will say no. When the other side say yes, the other side will say no. Look at the EndSARS protests that should have gotten revolution in Nigeria. They're not. Nothing you say no. They are even supporting SARS, the Nigerian police and army, killing South, and they call it. How can you amalgamate different countries inside one place, one amalgamate, one construct? And you think that things will be okay? You are looking for unity. I want the Pan-Africanists to think about this, because I'm sick and tired of when with some people, some ill-informed set of people about Pan-Africanism. When they hear about Biafran agitation, they say, we want Africa to be one country, and you want to divide and separate and form another country. I look at them with disdain, because they are naive, ignorant. You cannot. Nigeria is a case study. They force different nations, under gunpoint as hostages in one entity, and carry power and give to the West, is because they know how to. They know how to do it. You know, they carry power, give to the most brutal, to be brutalizing others, so that there will be friction, endless friction in the country. And they have access to your natural resources direct. You see how they put what is happening in Haiti. Do you know that America is stealing a mountain of iridium? Do you know that? A mountain of iridium in Haiti. Now they made, since in 1986, they discover one extraterrestrial stone that fall there. And the iridium is highly costly. But America now, they find a way to put confusion. Gangs, is ungovernable Haiti as of now, as of today. But they carry their agents as United Nations soldiers, military, put there, and be mining and taking away everything. That is how it is. Exploitation is allowed in the world. After all, if you are going on Serengeti forest, you will see where lion is pursuing zebra. Poor zebra that didn't do anything, that was looking for his food, only peacefully. And one lion just from nowhere start pursuing it and we catch it and tear it into pieces. It will be a gory sight for you, but that is the reality of the world. That is how the world is created. We are the strong press on the weak. Are you here? That is exploitation. It's allowed. If you can resist exploitation, now you join the exploiters. You have peace. But when you are peaceful, yesterday I talked about, I said I will make it a discussion one day, an interaction, that this Igbo, we as Igbo people, we always praise ourselves. Oh, we didn't conquer. We know the importance of life. Yes, all these are good, but owing to the wickedness of the world we are in, you shouldn't be all peaceful. If you are peaceful as a people, you suffer, and that is why we are suffering today. We waited until they killed us in 1966 before they, massacred us before we can be able to react, only to defend ourselves. No, we love life. America see us, we know one problem. The United Nations see us, we know one problem. now them come bring problem to us. They are killing us. Why not to come and protect us? We love life. That is it. I'm telling you. You don't want problem in this world, and you come out in the world. A world of problem. A world that is double spinning on itself. About 121,000 kilometers per hour, and now spinning around the sun, whether 20 something or 70 something thousand kilometers per hour. You know what it means? You're in a world of problem. Before coming out in this world, others died. You suppressed, you exploited and suppressed other cells. Other lives we are lost. Do you understand? And you now come to be peaceful. Oh, we don't conquer people. And today, are we not suffering it? Aren't we suffering it? Others that fought and conquered and put everybody under umbrella until it became their tradition. They speak one language. Before we know, this one speaker said, no, problems everywhere. Why? They were peaceful. Are we not? I'm telling you, we must continue. Peace and unity comes with mutual respect, justice and equity. Nigeria, for example, is the amalgamation of different nations under gunpoint, only serving the interests of the colonial creators. I'm talking about Pan-Africanism. There are those whose idea of Pan-Africanism is having the African continent as a single country with one president, or having very fewer countries. This is simply not the genuine Pan-Africanism. The scenario will only result in eternal frictions and turmoils, thereby hampering development. This is simply anti-Africanism. The only way to have real Pan-Africanism is allowing people to express their nationhood, to develop as they can, to take charge of their destiny. Not, in October 12, 1960, Ahmad Bello said that their domineering set, the Fulani, that they should continue, they should now take this new Nigeria being formed by Britain as the estate of their great-grandfather Ottoman Danfodio. They have another idea of Nigeria, that they should make sure that power does not depart from them, that they will always use the northern minorities as useful tools. You understand? And make sure that power does not enter the south, that they will make sure that not only that we shall never rule over them, and never to take hold of our destinies. In 1960, few days after independence, so-called flag independence of Nigeria, and we were laughing over it, our so-called political juggernauts and so-called intellectuals and elders watched this thing and kept quiet. They didn't react in a way it should be. Because when you kill that person, you never kill the ideology. That word, only that word should have horrified Nnamdi Azikiwe. Not even to kill the Ahmad Bello, because it's an ideology that has been there. So Nnamdi Azikiwe should have tried a way in order to separate immediately from that unholy union or holy marriage. But he didn't do that because of his selfish interest. He was there. Don't worry, Namibia physique of Africa. Let the Europeans go. I know how to handle everything. And when Europeans go physically, go, whereas their shadow is still there. Now they show Azikiwe how to manage him. It was not him handling them. Instead, they show him how to handle them, and the Igbos and the Biafrans. Till today, they are handling us. That is why when some people, what they want is for the leadership now to come and start now we will do the many people very primitive set of people. We will do this. We will do this, water. Just making sure. Mazi Chinedu would have said it. That the leadership of this struggle is not content creators. They are not pranksters or content creators. To tell you, to make you happy. Whereas the reality is different. They will tell you as it is. Now, the thing difficult to, but we are fighting it. It's a strategic war. It is not something we come out on the open to vomit anything we want to do. No. But the result is what you'll be seeing. That is it. Check it now. And the people that want to watch a show, in the show, that is why they show. They go, they say, nah, nothing they happen on DSS, on the OS side. Now this IPO, let me look for where things are happening. Ha gaonye name show, goshi ha some antiquity. Brew champagne now, hasn't onya action man now. Very backward thinking set of primitive individuals we have in our land. I'm telling you honestly. And after they will be deceived. And before you know, they'll forget everything and say, nah, I beg. And their suffering continues. You understand me? How can you turn Africa into a giant country whereby you have one president and you think that everything you have solved, is some African mentality. We solve the situation. You cannot. For your information, you cannot. Let me give you an example. Singapore and Malaysia was a single country at one time. The state of Singapore was one of the 14 states of Malaysia from 1963 to 1965. They were one country. They merged themselves. Malaysia was formed on the 16th day of September 1963 by the merger of the Federation of Malaya with the former British colonies of North Borneo, Sarawak, and Singapore. This marked the end of the 144 years British rule in Singapore, which began with the founding of modern Singapore by Sir Stamford Raffles in 1819. At the time of merger, it was the smallest state in the country by land area, but the largest by population, just like Biafra land. You see that? Singapore was like that, the 14th state of Malaysia from 1963. We have examples everywhere abound. They will be telling us, oh, you don't have enough space. Singapore has the highest population when it was even part of Malaysia. It has the highest population there, but less land. That is why in Singapore they build skyscrapers everywhere to accommodate them. And today they are developed. You see that? The union of Malaysia and Singapore was unstable due to distrust and ideological differences between the leaders of Singapore and of the federal government of Malaysia. When these problems were going on between Singapore and Malaysia, they didn't say no. Asia Union, please. We want unity in Malaysia. Please stay like that. Join together. No problem. You will overcome your differences. Britain didn't tell them, oh, your diversity is your power. Your diversity is your tenacity. I used to forget how they say it. No, Britain didn't tell them like that, as they are telling Nigeria. Oh, you are suffering. No, we are being marginalized. People are being killed in the north by the Fulani. Villages are being swept away. The demographics are being changed artificially. Britain said, no, don't worry, stay like that. It's okay. Your diversity is your strength. They didn't tell it to Malaysia when they were having all these problems among themselves. Do you understand? Because they were unstable as a country due to distrust and ideological differences between the leaders of Singapore and the federal government of Malaysia. They often disagreed about finance, yes, politics and racial policies. Singapore continued to face significant trade restriction despite the promise of common market in return for a large proportion of its tax revenues. There were major race riots in Singapore in 1964. That was when they now say, no, instead of us to start killing ourselves, we have to do something. But in the black Africa, because we Africans now, people that we are bought with money by the Europeans, by other races, why wouldn't you show them what is good for them? We are dying in Nigeria, killing ourselves. They say, no, Britain will come. Say, no. Your diversity is your unity. Don't worry. Continue. It's okay. You will get over it. And the people bought into this rubbish. No, every time they are singing unity of Nigeria. Oh, unity. As if by invoking it, by talking about unity, you will get unity. You know people that have been brainwashed into speak a word and it will come to pass, as the Bible says. That is what they believe. That is why some people, they want us to come here, start shouting, Biafra will come, Biafra will come, Biafra will come, Biafra will come. Biafra will come. Very primitive way of thinking, because they have been brainwashed. Yeah, speak a word. Dollar will be less than naira in no distance time. Amen. Oh yeah, their word is powerful. Oh yeah. Now they believe that when you come on Radio Biafra, you start singing, Biafra will come. Oh, release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must be released. Right? And he will be released. Indeed. You don't know that what is being taught in Radio Biafra, all these grassroots affairs, is an eye-opener, a brain opener that will lead us into a vibrant society called Biafra. You don't know. These are the things that we need to do. But because you are brainwashed into believing another thing. You want us to come here every time. As I stand here now, I start singing like an onion chaplet. Maria Diaso, Yola Yayo. Biafra will come. Maria Diaso. Biafra will come. Maria Diaso. You all wouldn't just call. Oh, this now. When Malaysians and Singaporeans were having problems as in one country, they were killing themselves. Now they say no. We cannot continue like this, because as we are killing ourselves, we will not have any space for even thinking about development. Everybody will be thinking about his own. Oh, my tribe. Oh, no. Why do you give us like one Ariwa group? They say Tinubu didn't give them juicy position. They alluded the finance to them. They didn't give them finance. And there is one other one, very juicy position. Oh, that the people are asking, give me cake, juicy position, so that you will milk. No person talks about development, because we are in a very big contraption, forced together under one point. And you're talking about Pan-Africanism, being a country ruled by one president, that there will be progress or peace. You are in a cloud cooker land. I am telling you honestly. This political problem, I'm talking about Singapore and Malaysia. These political problems culminated in the decision by Malaysia's Prime Minister Tunku Abdul Rahman to expel Singapore from the Federation, and on 9th August 1965, Singapore became independent. Do you understand? They did something like human beings. It is this. The Prime Minister of Malaysia, when you look at it, he said, no, if we continue like this, we will not even think about progress. We will be killing ourselves all the time, looking for juicy position, making the country, and the foreigners will be taking advantage of us, because we are fighting always. So it's better we separate so that we develop. Go and take care of yourself. I take care of myself. He unilaterally expelled Singapore from the Federation, Malaysian Federation. You understand? And today they are thanking their goodness that they did it. You understand? Today both of the countries are doing very well, and they are exhibiting genuine friendship and pan-Asianism. You see many Nigerians, many Igbo people are in Singapore, in Malaysia. Had it been they are killing themselves, you will not try to go there. But they did something that should be emulated. People in Malaysia are hearing my voice today. Biafrans in Singapore are hearing my voice. What we are clamoring for is what Singapore and Malaysia did in the 1965. That is why you are able to stay there. And when you call, you say, you see here, there is electricity 247. You see, Nigeria is a shithole. Here I am now. I'm living in the 50th floor. Everything is okay. Water is running. The pressure of water is coming up normal, you know. But you didn't. If they tell you join hands, let us restore Biafra, you say no. You don't know that why you are able to go to Singapore and live in Malaysia is because they did what we are clamoring to do today. You don't know that because you are ignorant. Let me tell you this. It's a news of 2010. Gaddafi, when he visited Nigeria, he went back. He said no. He saw something because he is a realist, a Pan-Africanist. You understand me? Gaddafi suggested that Nigeria split along ethnic lines in 2010. Gaddafi, oh, this man is a great man, honestly. Without mincing words, Gaddafi said that no, Nigeria be broken up into several states along ethnic lines, like the former Yugoslavia. Are you understanding? Because he really loves Africa to progress. Not people that are calling for one giant continent to turn into a country by one president. You will see that we kill ourselves forever. You understand? You can never have genuine Pan-Africanism without respect to our diversities. Do you understand me? Gaddafi called for a dismantling of Nigeria. He is a big Pan-Africanist. That time was the time they had a just riot where Muslims massacred Christians, where Igbo people were massacred. And this man said, no, Nigeria shouldn't continue like this. But, Britain came and said, no, your diversity is your strength. Continue. This thing, 2010. But it continues to today. The same thing. Katrina Leong came to 2023 election. After 2023, don't worry, your diversity is your strength. Although there are mistakes, small casualties of election, but you are learning. It's democracy. It's like that. Your strength is your diversity. And the Neanderthals clap. They don't ask questions. Why is Singapore developing? If Singapore and Malaysia has continue being in one country, there will be no development. They will be killing themselves to the advantage of European countries or the West. But they took the bull by the horn. They said no, we shouldn't be killing ourselves. Why? It's better we become separate. We become separated, and we become good neighbors. And today, Malaysians are in Singapore, Singaporeans are in Malaysia, doing well. They are exchanging in mutual respect. That is pure Pan-Asianism. Good neighbors. Now you can remove visa restrictions in order to, facilitate commerce among yourselves. Free movement of goods and services. That is how it is. But first of all, you have to take your destiny, different destinies, by your own hands, and develop yourselves according to your paces. Singapore went into work because that time, that first Prime Minister of Singapore came back, was crying when he was making an announcement that they have been sacked from Malaysia. He was shedding tears on air. That they pursue us now. What are we going to do? We have to take the bull by the horn. That is the time you see human being. You understand? When you are pushed the wall, now they have a country. Their country is looking at them. They need to now work. That is why we are clamoring for the restoration of Biafra, so that we, as a people, we go into work. In order, those people that they say they are not good to be to rule Nigeria. Oh, they are not qualified to be engineers in Ajokuta steel industry. Because Igbos will dominate there. No, they are not good. They pursue all of them. They replace them with the mediocres. No, they are not good in this. They are not good in that. Now, when we have our country, it will become a challenge. And we will go to work. That time we will bring our brains. You will see patriotism. You will see that we love our nation. That time you will see that, look, we have been yearning for this. We start building our nation, with all our might. You understand? Because that time it will be a challenge. Gaddafi, the leader of Jumhuriyya, he said it. He suggested that Nigeria be balkanized in the 2010. But Nigeria, they recalled the ambassador from Libya, saying, now this man, or is it not what is Gaddafi is a big pan-Africanist. He saw the reality. He didn't miss words. He said Muslims should be one side, Christians should be another side, and form different countries so that you become good neighbors. But they go with sentiment. No. Why is this man talking like this? Hey, our ambassador, come back. Britain put a voice, put pressure on them. Do not allow this man to come and spoil your dear Nigeria. Your diversity is your strength. So please, do not allow him. Make problem with him. Gaddafi, a great Pan-Africanist, in 2010 called for the dismantling of Nigeria in a former Yugoslavia style. Genuine Pan-Africanism starts when Africans recognize and respect their ethnic and social cultural differences, making rooms for different nations which are illegally gummed together by the Europeans to govern themselves in their own ways. The same way the Europeans allow their different ethnicities, notwithstanding how little they are, to remain independent or voluntarily come together in a highly federated unions. Loose, highly federated unions, like Switzerland. Any part that wants to say, I don't want to be part of Switzerland today, they will gather and do feast for them, just like what Mazi said. That Biafra will be, a highly federated nation or nation state. If tomorrow Izon say no, we don't want to be part of Biafra, the only thing we do, we say, okay, it's not one man. We say, no, the referendum will be organized for them. Once they say, no, we don't want to be part of Biafra again, we hire brass band, cook rice and beans and oba, cook feast, do them send off with all our hearts. And we pray together, go for together, that you progress and we continue being brothers. We do them send off. You understand? That is how it should be. That is how Europeans organize themselves. Let me tell you, many European countries are not up to 1 million in population. You know that? For people that are talking about Pan-Africanism as if we have to become one country. No. You must respect people so that peace will reign. Mutual respect. A case study of this thing is Nigeria, where people are lumped together. What is happening in Nigeria? No security, no development, nothing is going on. No electricity. People don't. If you want to put electricity, they will sabotage it because some people are gaining. If you want to rise up to protest, so they will say they will ability Igbo. The Igbos you want to protest with Igbos? No. Leave them. Now them they suffer them. And we turn ethnic problem. Like end the SARS. No, you people in Yoruba in Lagos. Now your properties Igbo they destroy you. They are tricking you into destroying Lagos, your properties. Look at you. Ona no sabi. Ona be mumu. Now, comrades that we are fighting together started distancing themselves. Oh boy, let's move. This one say, oh boy, nah, I beg, Omo Igbo. Oh, now don't deceive us, I beg. Which kind of instance? Me wanna go on, it shall go do them like that. Here in Lagos, in our land, they put a crack because they know that Nigeria, there is nothing like a revolution. It can never work. It can never. It's impossible because of the way they structure issue. The politicians are 100% in control. The few 0.5% of the population that are politicians, they are in control. If you want to rise up, they will put ethnicity on it. They will put a tribe or say na Igbo tribe. You know they had them now. Any person, any other tribe in Nigeria that hear about the Igbo, hey, they look back. No, I want Igbo to dominate on now. They say no. Instead, make a politicians, make a Britain, make a Fulani kill everybody instead of Igbo to dominate. They use the hatred they have developed against Igbos in order to destroy Nigeria, and everybody is suffering it. And that's why I'm happy, because everybody is suffering it. Everybody, you know. If people want to write, just like what the Jews did in the situation of the Jews during the Tsar era of Soviet Union, they always use the Jews. They blackmail. They said they are the people that are bringing up problems. Everything, in order to settle everybody, any national issue. In order to put a scapegoat, they call the Jews. Yeah, it is the Jews that did it. Everybody say, okay, we know. Everybody now will turn against the Jews, and they will forget about the misrule of the politicians or the king. They will forget about his gruesome brutality. As long as they call it is the Jews, the problem is the Jews. So hey, everybody say, okay, we know now, not them. They will turn against the Jews, start killing them. That is what the strategy they are using in Nigeria. Anything that happen, people to rise up in order to fight for their rights. The politicians will rise up. They will use their agents and spill out on social media and the media and tell them, Igbo people want to use on now. Now them they will cause this problem. Everybody say, okay, now we know. Igbo people, I beg, we not go follow Igbo people. Instead, make you politicians, make Britain, they squander everything. No problem. Make we they suffer. Instead of giving Igbo leeway, I beg. That is how they structured Nigeria. Do you understand me? Do you know many European countries, they have countries as little as 700 and population of Vatican, whether it's up to 200 in Vatican. But it's a country. What of Luxembourg? It's an independent country. What of Iceland, Latvia? All these small, very tiny countries with tiny populations that are. Iceland is not up to 500,000, 365,000 people. Iceland. But they are independent, running as a country. They have respect. That is how peace reigns in a continent. That is pan-Europeanism. When respect is accorded to everybody, when people are allowed to take charge of their destinies, now the end product, the result is peace. This peace. Because you respect me, now I respect you. I call the same respect to you. You don't look down on me, say onyamiri, kill onyamiri, want to. No. If you do, how can you have peace? When you don't want me to even rise up. Because of me, you want to punish everybody. And when I want to bring up people to protest, you say, you deceive them and say, no, Igbos want to do something, or it's Igbo that is causing it. They will fall back and say, Igbos, we know, they will turn against the Igbos. Do you see what we are suffering in Nigeria? Even in the Americas, let me tell you, there are some population, some countries in America that are very, very little. You understand? We have little countries Guyana is 743,000 people. 743,000. A country. Suriname has 590,000. A country. Belize have 419,000 people. Not up to 500,000. A country. A complete country. Bahamas. All these countries, I'm saying, go there, you see Biafrans, they're full there. Bahamas have 393,000. Where you go on holiday, spend money. It's a country. 393,000 people. You understand? Barbados have 288,000 people. Barbados. You understand? St. Lucia have 178,000 people. St. Lucia, a country. Grenada have 113,000. A country. St. Vincent and the Grenadines have 110,000. A country. You understand? Antigua and Barbuda have 99,000 people. But it's a country. A country respected by United Nations. Dominica has 72,000 people. Cayman Island, although this is a part of the UK, I will not say it's a complete country. St. Kitts and Nevis have 54,000 people. You understand? And many more. Many more. You understand? Now, when you come to Europe, you see people that are less than 5 million, less than 2 million, 3 million, you know, Armenia, 2.7 million, Lithuania, 2.7 million, Albania, 2.8 million. You see Kosovo, 1.6 million. A country that is not up to one local government in Biafra land. Estonia, 1.3 million. Luxembourg, 639,000. Montenegro, 627,000. Malta, 526,000. As I'm talking to you, there are Biafrans in Malta. Maybe they will call. Iceland, they have risen to 370,000. You see that? Iceland. There are Biafrans that are seeking asylum in Iceland. We have, I think, a family in Iceland. A country of 370,000 people. You understand? Andorra, 79,000. Andorra. Are you hearing it? Liechtenstein is 39,000. Monaco, 36,000. Gibraltar, although it's UK. San Marino, 33,000. But we as black people, as Africans now, people that we are bought with money, we don't have right to our independence, to rule ourselves. I understand for peace, a boy. Britain will come and say, no, your diversity is your strength. But in Europe, they don't tell them that. You don't tell them that. They respected everybody, and everybody have free hand, independence. Now they called for, you know, association, mutual economic association, European Union. And that is when they will be talking to each other with respect, not dictating for you. As we are in a country, look at in Nigeria, the Igbo politicians are now requesting Oga Tinubu, help us now with at least 2 more ministerial positions. Help us now. And they say, come on, shut up. What I give you, you're okay. You should be okay. Thank you, sir. Not that we know, you love Igbo people now. They have sing love for Buhari until he died, and the impostor, he has gone. Now they are singing again. Tinubu should prove that he loves Igbo. Give us another, the little you have done very well, by giving us ordinary, just 5 ministerial, but add another 2 or 3 now. Add now. They tell you, shut up if you talk. Sorry, sir. Wait for 2027. You will have another. Sorry, sir. We will. Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. How will you have peace? How will you expect peace and unity in a country like this, whereby if we have our independence, we will take charge of our destiny and be developing, and we'll be talking to ourselves as equals? Nigeria or Iriwa Oduduwa will come we will be competing, healthy competition on development. If they have car factories manufacturing, made in Ariwa car, we try to imitate them, emulate them and produce a aircraft. It will become healthy competition. When they saw that, Biafrans are producing aircraft now, they try to make research for, jet bombers. That is a healthy competition. Things will be moving on. But in a country where all of us are together, we are good for nothing now. We are together. We are begging for our politicians are begging now for another ministerial, at least add 1 or 2 on top of it, so that to prove that you love Ndibo. That is their mantra. So that you prove that you love Ndibo. Where is Igbo presidency in 2023? Anywhere you see a Nigerian politician of Igbo extraction, ask him this question: where is Igbo presidency of 2023? Something they used to massacre our people. Because of Igbo presidency, we're thinking that it is him that they will be choosing, because they promise each and every one of them. Very primitive Neanderthals. The Alhajis went there and they promised, you are our man now, we will support you for Igbo praise, you are our man. They will go back and tell Dave Omai the same thing. They went and tell Nyesomuike the same thing. They went and tell Chibika Mechi the same thing. You know you're an Igbo man, you just know now. I'm a Igbo now, I'm one Igbo. We support you. Now Naiwodo went and started singing praises for the killers of our people. Dave Omahi, they sponsor him to form a bubago. Remember, you remember 2023, you are our man. So form a bubago and kill all these Biafran agitators. This is your youths, kill them. He jumped in to say, don't worry, I will do it. I will prove to you. Where is Igbo presidency? For goodness sake. You think we are going to forget it? We will continue asking this question in this platform. Where is Igbo presidency 2023? Where is it? Today, you have done as if nothing happened. You have forgotten, but we don't forget. We don't forget. If you don't give it to us, we know that you have pushed out of Nigeria. If you don't give it to us, we are going to join IPOB in order to look at these very inconsequential idiots. That is why they have been relegated. Igbo politicians are now relegated to nothingness, irrelevancy in Nigerian politics because of their behavior. They don't understand politics. Politics is about local, your people, being at your back, not killing your people, making enemies against your people. Where is Igbo presidency? That is a question that you need to answer. All these countries I mentioned, European countries, American countries, some are less than 100,000, but they are countries. They are different countries that are managing their lives, living fine. If you go to your country, if you go there, you will even see Biafrans, see Africans hustling there, seeking asylum there, begging for asylum there. But let us go the way of these people. You said no. Nigeria, my Nigeria. And what is your Nigeria doing for you? Why are you running away from your Nigeria? Gaddafi saw this and he suggested for the dismantling of Nigeria. They came against him. Britain pushed their idiots, Nigerian politicians, in order to come against Gaddafi. Today, Nigeria is still where Nigeria of 1970 is even better than today. Are you seeing it? And people are walking happily as if nothing is happening. They don't care. No electricity in 21st century, they don't care. They don't care. The clergymen are in one place, another side, giving them sedatives. That all will be okay. That your problem is a demon. He is the devil. He is a demon. Pursue him. Cast him in 100 days fasting. Cast him away. And the people are following this primitive way of reasoning. Outdated. Something the Europeans run away from. You are following it. We will never tolerate this type of idiocy in Biafra land. That is why we are sanitizing our brains, whether you like it or not. We must make sure that we sanitize our brains in order to enter into our country. Because with this dirty and compromised brain and of primitivity, superstition, it cannot work. Who is going to build it? They will tell you, no, my pastor said no, demons are there. So let us first of all go fasting for 30 days before I come back. Is that how you are going to build a country? Hey, I will continue. I will open my lines in no distant time. Genuine Pan-Africanism starts when Africans recognize and respect their ethnic and socio-cultural differences, making rooms for different nations which are illegally gummed together by the Europeans to govern themselves in their own ways. The same way the Europeans allow their different ethnicities, notwithstanding how little they are, to remain independent or voluntarily come together in loose federated unions. With genuine Pan-Africanism in the continent, it will automatically attract diaspora Africans. Do you understand? This Pan-Africanism, if genuine Pan-Africanism will attract diaspora Africans, African Americans, African Caribbeans, African Australians, African Europeans automatically. This is because the white American-led government made sure to prevent African Americans from having contact with their motherland, Africa. It's one thing they fought. They fought black race through everywhere. And if they tell you, if you really think deep on why we are black people are disrespected, suffering everywhere, together with the way we think, black race think, but we are rising up. They made sure the American CIA made the secret services, they made sure to thwart African Americans from coming back to their motherland, having communion with it. You understand? They made them to stay there. I gotta say, I gotta move. Africa is nonsense. They sold us into slavery. Yes, our ancestors, yes, they collaborated. Some of them. Many of them, they were overpowered, but some of them collaborated. That is a known fact. But it shouldn't be an excuse. Remember, most of the whites you see today in South Africa and the Americas are descendants of the highly persecuted Huguenots, expelled mostly from France. They grew above this sad history of theirs and were able to reconcile and became attracted to their European roots. African Americans and other diaspora Africans should follow the footsteps of the descendants of the Huguenots that were killed and wronged by their own people, but we are able to go back to their European roots. The Huguenots, that is a Protestants, mostly in France as of that time. The 15th, 16th century, when Catholic France started persecuting them, killing them, and they started running away, they were killed brutally, jailed, exiled. They were uprooted from their lands, ancestral homes, and expelled from Europe. They were given option to run away. Many of people, the Boers, even you see, they are South African, white South Africans are the Huguenots, descendants of these Huguenots. Many in America, the same thing. When I talk about America, I mean the Americas. From Canada, the north, down to Argentina, the south. Many white Europeans, you see, many of them are the Huguenots because they organized, they say, okay, they started running away for their lives because they are being massacred in France. You understand? So they have to be expelled. They ran away to far places. They were wronged, but after they grew above that situation, and they have to ally with their roots in Europe. Every other race allies with their roots. Only black race that are prevented. Talk about black Africa. You see, many African Americans even have disdain against Africans. It is some you understand? We need to grow above this. We need to, because white people, Europeans that you are seeing today in Argentina, in many places in America, in South Africa, they were also wronged by their European motherland because they were exiled. You understand me? You cannot stay here. You better run, otherwise we kill you. Some are prisoners that we are, instead they said, say go and die in the colony, and they went there. They born children. They were wronged also, but they grew above this and they trace back their roots. That's why American, they have. Don't you see that America fought war, revolutionary war of liberation from their motherland, from Britain, but still today they are the greatest allies. Do you see that? There should be no sentiment in international politics. African, the way we see things is a highly primitive, true primitive way. Your ancestors killed us, so why now you are suffering, I'm suffering, everybody is suffering. You are nothing, I'm nothing. We are regarded, we are disrespected everywhere. Why can't we join together and not forget, and grow above that past? We reconcile and say yes, but the work should start from Africans in the motherland, like what we are asking for the restoration of Biafra. Because in Nigeria we are nothing. We are marginalized, disrespected. We are mounted to nothing. We are not allowed to take charge of our destiny in a place, in our country, in our part of in Biafra land, where we have water bodies everywhere. There is no seaport. But in the north, where there is desert, is in desert that they have a dry dock in Kano. Any containers belonging to Kano people, northerners, it will land in Lagos seaport. Now they use train to convey it in Kano. Now people will take taxi or use their cars for 5 minutes ride, drive, go to their dry dock, clear it there in Kano, and take it to their shops. But in our land, in Biafra land, we have oceans, ocean body, we have river body, we have lakes, we have water bodies, where slave ships docked, during slave trading. But today they close all those places for ships. No wharf, no seaport. Now they suffer us. You have to import your container through Lagos, 400 and something kilometers. As you go to collect your container, every inch of the way you meet military checkpoints, police checkpoints, custom checkpoints, civil defense, boy scout, boys brigade, every type of force, every 100 meters, and you continue paying. The way they suffer us, no other people on this planet Earth can accept this suffering. But the Biafrans now, why wouldn't we accept it? We are, God is in control. Brakata Shatata, I saw that you will succeed in Jesus' name. I saw that your container is coming. Don't worry, the suffering will be over. Just pray and everything will be over. And I now bumbo. We take our container flying on the road. They continue ripping us up. According to report, the last 2 months, only the military check. The police and military checkpoints in Biafra land. They report 600 in year never end. 600 billion naira. 600 billion. Do you know what it means? That we are giving to police and military, settling. What type of agony they put us? I want people to you have to raise your chagrin, righteous indignation. They put us in a suffering, dying slowly, and we continue eating the flesh of our own brothers, thinking that the problem is a witch, the problem is your father, a tie your destiny. This one is life from the pit of hell. They are attacking us from land, sea, and road, bush, everywhere. From the churches, they are attacking us. If the government of the day, they're causing havoc against us, now in the church, they tell us it's your brother that is your problem. Do you see what we are suffering? And you never see road. You never understand. Because you are ignorant, naive, and blind. You are sentimental. You are a religious bigot. We don't need this in this struggle. If you are a religious bigot, you better move away from here. We don't need it. When we get Biafra, you can come. Because one thing must give road to another. That is the reality. So, we must continue what we are doing. Our brain must be sanitized in order to restore a sanitized country. The suffering, the agony, the pain we are going through, it is too much. No other race on in this planet Earth can be able to endure it. No other race. Open, they don't hide it. You come out on they stop you on the road, everybody come down from the car and march 100 200 meters, your hands up in a place in our own land, and you think that is normal. You think that is normal. After all, after you go to church, they console you with fake promises, fake everything fake. Oh, naira will be more than dollars, and you say amen. Nah, ngwana. Very miserable situation. That means there is a time we come in somebody's life, you say no, you take this drastic decision. That's why I love white people. They have red lines. There is a red line you cannot cross. Instead they kill them, they kill you and kill themselves. They don't care. Life is not, it's like that. Everybody will die. But you that is miserable, you like to live and so you're under suffering, you love it. Instead, and even the life you are not living, you are just surviving. We cannot take it. We shouldn't continue taking it. You understand? So people that are talking about Pan-Africanism as a one big giant country in Africa, take note of Nigeria. You understand? Take note of Nigeria. It's a bad example. Don't go that way. Allow people, to express themselves. Allow different nations abound together in one giant country in order to liberate themselves. Now we can go be like Singapore and Malaysia. Moving very well. Have you since 1965, have Singapore and Malaysia fought? Have they fought war? The answer is no. Did they have a fracas? The answer is no, because now they treat themselves as equals. If we restore Biafra, we don't have to fight with anybody. Now we become friends, heavy brothers and friends, exchanging, knowledge and wisdom, helping each other. Because that time we will treat ourselves with equality. Not now, not like now. You are in Nigeria, you are begging. Igbos are begging for at least add one ministerial post now. I beg. Prove Nigerian president should prove that he loves Ndibo. Very demented, type of statements and reasoning. You love Ndibo. You are waiting to be loved. No, don't take your thing. Go continue waiting to be loved. Therefore, Africans with their diverse ethnicities and traditions and cultures should be respectfully allowed to govern their individual selves in their own diverse ways. This will usher in mutual respect, understanding and development, and the end product will be genuine Pan-Africanism. This is where I'm going to stop. Do not forget that we talk about genuine Pan-Africanism. Not all these ones they are garnishing. Not all these ones, please. What we are doing is for us, once we succeed, our continent will succeed. We develop and advance. Do you understand? Not through sentiment. We say the reality as it is. Do you understand me? Therefore, I will go into a few minutes break so that when I come back, I will open the lines so that people will start calling in. Please do not go away. I'll be right back.
Niger, its bigger brother, the EU, is reportedly moving. While France is scrambling to maintain its presence in coup-shaken Niger, its bigger brother, the EU, is reportedly moving to increase its influence in West Africa. Member states are said to have agreed to begin a mission in the Gulf of Guinea this autumn, citing terrorism operations and a need to strengthen security. Well, the operation will reportedly span Ghana, Togo, Benin, and Ivory Coast, with police and soldiers deployed to the countries aiming, quote, to prevent instability triggered by jihadists. And previous similar operations in Niger, Mali, and Somalia failed to yield fruitful results, with international troops ordered to leave after years of peacekeeping operations. The locals in Togo say, based on past experience, the deployment of EU troops is less than welcome.
It's not a good idea at all, as despite their efforts in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, they failed in their mission. It's not worth it. Terrorists committed crimes when they were in these countries. We don't want them here.
We need security in the country, but we think the situation gets worse if these troops come to us. We are also vulnerable, and that could create more tension. Their presence will attract more attention to our country, and it will weaken the situation. I'm not in favor of this deployment.
We must first ask whether these countries have really expressed the need for intervention by European troops. If this is not the case, I do not see the importance of their deployment. Moreover, ECOWAS can already constitute a security strategy to deal with the terrorist threat. It would be good to have the support of Europe, but we have to see what is hidden behind it.
We got reaction to the EU's plans for some kind of new civilian military mission in West Africa. We got reaction from some guests.
If we have Islamists coming in, what we need from the EU and from any well-meaning nation is arms. You can train our soldiers, you can arm us, we can take them on ourselves. You know, we don't need military bases. Let's say how many of those, there are about 4 military bases in Niger. I do not know that one single US soldier or EU soldier went out there to attack Islamists. And they've been there all this while. They've not gone there to attack one single Islamist or defend Niger. It's just a pretext to bring their boots on the ground there and then establish their presence there because of the rising influence of the perceived rising influence of Russia on the subcontinent. And I'm really worried because unfortunately some of our leaders are very gullible and buying into this story either knowingly or unknowingly and endangering the future of this region.
Certainly, there is no Pan-Africanist worth the assault who will be delighted by the news of the European Union wanting to establish a mission within Africa, particularly in the Gulf of Guinea zone. We are troubled by the events that Europe thinks that they have what it takes to control and to bring about peace in Africa. The history of Africa and Europe is not that of a symbiotic relationship. It is that of a parasitic relationship, where Europe is the parasite that takes much away from Africa. And for anything and everything that Europe has done and continue to do, it's only to further European interests and to bring about the impoverishment of the African people.
While France...
Welcome back. This is Radio Biafra House of Service coming to you through Radio Biafra London. Our lines are now open. I already have people lined up, but we must continue. Those that are paying lip service on Pan-Africanism, they are the people that are collaborating with the Europeans, the West, in order to milk Africa, to milk their countries. But they are coming on television, on screen to shout about Pan-Africanism. But they are with their Western masters making Africa, because of their mansions in America, in European countries, the money they deposited there. But Africa is rising, and Biafra must be restored. This is the genuine Pan-Africanism. Our direct line is +1 213 328 6224. I repeat, +1 213 328 6224. Our WhatsApp and Signal line is +61 405 142 547. I repeat, +61 405 142 547. I have the first caller on WhatsApp. Can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp, welcome to the program. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, my brother, Professor Mazi Jonathan. Good evening, sir. Yeah. My name is Mazi Biafra. Professor Jonathan, teaching it Obaram Namo, Obaram Nime, highest. Maka ENG sick and portable. Maka to make one yap, get it on by the Agaga. In Yanobudo for Apa. Some of the 70,000, some of the 100,000, some the 1.something million. Mana Biafra is a more than 60 million population. Ijubazio Kenya Bunsu Buai or the mineral resources are in one and Biafra Bunsubu. And don't worry about Traka and every Traka will be the foam. No, you will pato pere go $100,000 or $50,000. Ogorozio Pumoto Neko. Era Kotazia Oko Biafra. One negi kobuna na ndai PUB na ha na ya marigi. So ona biye mute. Igotako. O patazio pere go oneko odiko wabuna. So ne yadi na mi abuna ayi ejisike. Alaba ego na ọrụ a. So ayi adogodo ọgụ aruo na njedebe. So teaching again ọbara m n'ime Maazị Jonathan, ọbara m n'ime hoha. Ọbara m n'ime. Udo dịrị gị nwa Chineke, udo dịrị IPOB one family.
Kwara gị ndewo Maazị. Ndewo. Anyị ga na-aga n'iru. Ịla azụ adịghị ya at all. Enwere ịla azụ dị ya because anyị enwede azụ sef anyị n'ala. Anyị enwede azụ anụ ụka. Ka anyị wụ. You know, this character Ndi Igbo na portray, we have been losing, also lost Kainaba. To the extent even the Fulani, they know our character now. Kunle and Alhaji leaked the phone conversation. The Alhaji said they know Igbo people now. Just bring them near, give them sense of belonging as your friend. Near him, he will vomit one thing that will make you survive. That they know. Just give him small thing and he will come. Do you know that I have phone number of my customer that used to buy me AC? He's a senator, Alhaji. Oh, yeah, very primitive element character. Ndibo still never depart from us. We need to shed it because we are on the 21st century. That is why now follow Mugo everywhere. In no cow, Nandi scammers and the native doctors. So now the different things I will now follow victim because I want to change. I'm telling you. But we must continue. I have a caller on Signal. Welcome to the program. Can you hear me? Caller on Signal.
I can hear you, Mazi Jonathan. Good evening, watching it. Mazi Jonathan, thank you. This is Biafra Radio. I'm happy this night that I'm part of this historic moment in the life of Biafra. You know, because you ask a very pertinent question. You keep on asking that question, and that's why I do them back. Where is Igbo's presidency? Because the time now I speak my thing where it concerns me, most especially because when I am able to we the Igbos, we need a very special decolonization. In fact, even after the restoration of the sovereign state of Biafra, we the Igbo as a people, because Biafra is a nation, Igbo is a nation under Biafra, other nations are there. That is reality. We need to decolonize ourselves because we have so much ascribed importance to materialistic than the real things that matter, which is freedom and liberation. Somebody made a statement that Igbo man once he's well to do, every other person around him, and this is a very bad mentality that has made it even in our life today. Sometimes we blame the rich ones and the politicians. We should actually blame our people, because our people has proven that even if you know what it takes to liberate or to give them what they need, as far as they don't listen to you. And this is where I give kudos to our own Mazi for being able to penetrate this very hard race to convince, because Igbo, our race is very hard to convince. Look at, even with all the awareness, somebody can wear the mindset in a believing superstitious, and this superstitious, you're not only believing it, you're bringing it to this holy platform where we worship, where our leader has taught us, because we've learned from our leader and we know where he's heading to and we're following him. He can't come and change the ideology for us. He can't do it. We have awakened and there's nothing you can do to change it. We don't believe in superstitions. Anything you're bringing to us, let it come with facts. Somebody cannot just stay somewhere and make a voice note and send to you, you begin to come and play it, use it as to fight, to do a kind of retaliation. We're not even here to retaliate anything. We are saying the truth. We have suffered religious backwardness because of, look at a pastor that is telling you that dollar will be, naira will rise again. This prophecy has been a record. It's just like they are not seeing us that we don't have even the brain. So even for you to reason, you are against them. So they can say anything to you and you must accept it because God has spoken. A man of God has spoken. That the Akadeboye has spoken. Kumuyi has spoken. And these people that are speaking this thing, all their children are in abroad enjoying good life, good education. None of them train their children here in Nigeria. But they are in Nigeria giving you prophecy on how to continue suffering. And you are the type that you still bringing this kind of superstitions to our platform. There's no other way to describe what you're doing that you are against what we are doing, because we have known people that have come in the past. I followed our leader from day one, even though I didn't join that struggle then, but I have been following till I had to join. We've known people that have in the past spoken about religions and sentiments that creep into them and they begin to fade away, and we continue. The struggle is still alive. So this is a legion. It can't come and change whatever ideology you're bringing to us. In any disguise you're bringing it, Biafra we know the truth. We are not Igbo people as per se. We are Biafrans. I can choose to be Igbo, I can choose not to be Igbo. Yes, I'm an Igbo born and brought up, blood there, mother, father is from Igbo land. I can't deny my identity, but in our land, we know what we suffered in the hand of colonial masters through their religions and their Portuguese people. What they did in our land, they keep on doing, and up to today, they are bringing neo-colonialism in our land, using our people to conquer us, keeping us away from the reality of life. Today, India has launched their own space launch. Where is a black man? Where is Igbo man? Where is a Biafra space in this planet Earth? Are we just here to come and watch other people like television? we can't accomplish anything. Even the little ones we had, Nigeria has helped to destroy all of them. Do you want to tell me that if we have started the way our forefathers started, and even the Biafra war, after the war, the engineers we had then, the way they started, and it means they are still continuing in that trend till today, we will not even have industries all over Igbo land to develop our land. We don't even have a reason to travel to Lagos, to outside country for anything, because that thing you're looking for, Sokoto, is inside there in your house. You are living in a national country. I don't think you have seen any auditorium of pastor crusade that has ever bring development to a society. You're using church auditorium where prayer camps to say this is what we develop Ali. If that is the truth, the way we are religious people, don't you think that our land will be the most developed in the world, because we have the highest prayer camp and churches in this world in Igbo land? But today, we are the bottomless at the bottom, and we are still fighting to bring ourselves from that mess. And you're using the opportunity because you have a platform. You have seen Jesus before Biafra. You believe in Jesus more than Biafra. We are not being sentimental. Biafra is our religion, and religion Biafra is what we worship, and that is the sanctity our leader has kept. Our leader never violated that rules, and you have no right, as somebody who is given opportunity to continue the legacy, to come and change it for us. We can't take it. So you that is listening to me, I have the right to say what I'm saying this night, because I also is part of the movement, blood dead, registered and oath member.
Let me ask, if I may ask, who are you talking about even? Because in a
thank you. What if I have to say it the way it is, Mazi, I can emboss you later, because here we don't exaggerate. There is a program that was laid down on this platform in the morning.
But Mazi, let me ask this. This radio is people's parliament, is people's radio. Anytime I'm talking, I used to even invite people, I encourage people to call and oppose what I'm saying, so that we have a civilized debate. Happily. But what used to baffle me is this. Like, as you call, you are complaining in my platform. The person that is doing that, you don't have the courage to call. It's part of our problem also. Now you now complain. Why not pick a phone, call direct? If I am talking, even if I'm doing any program, I used to announce it, say, please, I am not Mr. Know Ye All. If you have opposing arguments, because Mazi Nnamdi put a standard that we the superior argument rules. Call here, call the number. I call the number. But when you leave, for example, you leave my platform, what I say now, you go another platform, start complaining what Mazi Jonathan say, for example. Does it make any sense at all? Whereas you have the right to audacity, you call and say, Mazi, I don't agree. Look at my reason. It's not quarrel, it's not personal. Why should we be coward like this? And after one, the same character only complain. Upon now, can I complain? Take on your name, if it is me, take a phone, call. That is the thing. That is what I solicit. Mazi. That is what I'm saying.
Yes, you're right, You're right, Mazi. Let me round up. See, on the aspect of calling, I can only call in. Why I'm calling in your program? Because after your analysis and everything you've said, you gave chance, may pay line for people to call in. But when you're on a program and you know what you want to say, after saying it, you say there is no time to receive call, you end the program. I don't think I will be calling you private, or because what you said, you didn't say it's private.
No, it's not private. Any other time, if the person come, call him. Talk it. People will hear.
We are not afraid of anybody.
Until you went there on air. That is how it should be. And I want people to do the same to me. You understand? I want people to. If you say you don't agree, what we are doing is we are not. Do I know you? You don't know me. personally. We don't have any personal business. It's this struggle. So anything we are doing is not personal. It's the standard being set, the focus of where we are going. So if you disagree on what I'm saying, you call. Now we discuss. You can make points that strike, that I can learn from. Now we debate it, we argue, and people will be listening. We will also be learning. That is symbiosis. It's mutual benefit. That is what I'm saying. Ndewo Mazi.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you, Mazi. In order not to debate, let me just round up. Our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has been freed by the court of competent jurisdiction, appeal court, and United Nations has also given their opinion. So anybody who is going to talk about signing shorty or anything, you are just being a useless fool that you have always been since we know you. Our leader is free, and the Nigerian system should obey their own court and release an innocent man so that he can go and take care of his family. Because you can't tell me that somebody who the court has set free for over 1 year now is still being kept in solitary confinement. This is injustice, and the world is pretending as if they are not seeing what is happening. We are here, and we will remain here until all of them will come and go, and justice must prevail. Our own case can never be different. Nambuko Bidro, and it will never end in our leg. We must have our freedom and develop our land the way we want it, and build our own civilization, our own indigenous way as a race. We are not cowards. We can never be cowards. Thank you, Mazi, for what you do for motherland.
Thank you very much. We must continue. We should learn how to, I don't know, there is something also I see in us, and this is part of the thing we need to change. We are seeing debate. Sometimes some of us see debate as you are against me, or contrary opinion as you are against me. That is why we are not good in politics. You know, that is why we are not good in politics. And that is one bad aspect I see in, let me say, these people, this Christianity. They don't like debate. They don't like, exchange of ideas. No, they don't like it. It must be that thing they say is okay. They will not also call to say, Mazi, look, I don't know whether it is inferiority complex. Instead, when you go to where comments, you will see them writing rubbish. Take where phone, well, no person is going to chop you. Make your point. Now you allow another person, I will make my point. Now that is how people grow up. But we see debate, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have been stressing on this. Debate or contrary opinion is not that I am against you or you are against me. No. We can be best of friends. But when it comes to certain debates or arguments, I differ with you. And we iron it out. After that, whenever it comes to our ordinary friendship, we continue what we are doing. That is how things go. That is how civilized people act. Not carrying everything personal as if, no, I don't want you. If you talk like this, as long as you are opposing me, that is why, even in Igbo land, politics, they are Tibozobo. A governor candidate will try to go and kidnap the other one, his opponent, and kill him. Because we are not engaging in civilization at all, like at the far back. Thinking that being against what I said, for example, opposing it means opposing me. No. Maybe you don't understand. Maybe you didn't understand. Maybe you are ignorant, or maybe I that said it, I didn't get it right. So we correct each other, we make points, and you learn, I learn. That is how things move. Caller on WhatsApp. Can you hear me? Welcome to the program. Caller on WhatsApp.
Yeah, good evening, Mazi.
Mazi, sorry,
Mazi,
let me also add this point. If you watch British Parliament in session, you say they can shout on themselves, talk, but immediately after the session they go and start laughing with each other, shaking each other. Once it comes to work, that work debate, because that is their work, is their job. They can be highly, with all their forces. It doesn't mean they are fighting. This one will rise and say, no, this one, they will even woo you. Whoa. It doesn't mean that they have. After the session, once they hit the hammer, say the session is over, or for recess, you will see them talking to each other, laughing. That is how civilized the people act. But in our own, I bring hey, Onya say that my faith, Onya say my. What are you the instigator? The first person that have believe on something in this world. Why do we take all these things so personal? Why? Now boy everywhere. Mazi, please continue. Caller on WhatsApp. Continue, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mazi Chinedu. I appreciate your call. Mazi, I remain Mazi Emmanuel. I'm calling from Paris. By the special grace of Chukwokika Biama. I remain the Paris Zonal Coordinator. Mazi, I want to just appreciate our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the person and the servant who answered the call of Chukwokika Biama, who built up this very platform, the Radio Biafra, where we worship. We salute his courage. I want to salute the courage of the leadership of this very movement, the person of Mazi Chinedu and his leaderships. We appreciate them. And Mazi, just what I want to comment on is concerning the Pan-Africanism you just mentioned, because we cannot shy away from it. It is the topic of this very evening, and the Mazi have deliberated a lot on this very Pan-Africanism. And we have learned a lot also, because hearing something and also developing more on that very issue, we highlight many people and reschedule their way of thinking or their way of perception, the way they perceive this very concept called Pan-Africanist. I have been following I have been, watching some of them online. Some who normally, even some of them, you saw them, they will be talking of one federal Africa with one president. And then when you ask them one question concerning even they rarely even talk of their country of origin, you see. And all these people you see, when you ask them some questions or you want to, draw their attentions on the difficulties that may face Africa and the irrealizable of this very project. I am not saying that building one big Africa is impossible. It is possible. But we have to learn from the people who have passed that through channel. And you will know that before you come to the level of building one federal Africa, you have to first of all watch the type of federalism that United States are using, and you know that the European Union, they emulated from United States. Now they are building their own union. Before they came into agreement to build a kind of union, they have been in their own sovereign nations. They have been, governing themselves well. They have solid government. They have solid institutions that function well internally in their own respective countries. But when they are now facing the federal issue, they are talking of federating themselves. Now they are now coming with their terms their conditions, and they are debating on it. Then you ask Africans who are talking of this Pan-Africanists. Yes, when you tell them that you are talking of Pan-Africanism, but you don't know that even the country you call your own, check well, you find out that your border has been tampered. A lot of things has been, mismanaged in that area that they call their own country, especially Cameroon. Because when you look at on social media, people that you find mostly that normally talk of this Pan-Africanism are mostly from Cameroonians or from some, but there are many there. And when you ask them, tell them about Biafra, they will, come again, start giving you argument of just what you just said now. No, we want a very mighty, giant, very big Africa that everybody, we will have one president, but now you are talking of separating yourself from having your own country. But you ask them, do you really even know exactly the history of Nigeria? Do you know the ethnics of Africa? Do you know how the composition of Africa, the way you are talking about it? Do you know our diversities? Do you even think, are we going to coexist together? Can we live together as one federation? So you find out that these people, either they are being sponsored by some, any movement, all these secret services, they normally infiltrate any movement, any gigantesque movement, any mighty movement. They try to portray some people that will be singing the same thing with you, but you may not know that those people don't have the same agenda. They are there as infiltrators or as saboteurs or as people who are, be saying the same thing with you, but they don't mean their action will be contrary of what we are talking about. So, Mazi, I like the way you just highlighted this very Pan-Africanist concept, because our leader is also very admired, and he knows exactly about the Pan-Africanism concept. But before we go into that, we have to first of all go and tidy up our lands, our individual countries first, before you can now come up and say, okay, yes, who and who can we deal with it? Who and who can we join with it? Which country and which country can we join with it and form a union? You can't just, our land, we don't have anything. You don't even have, nothing is functioning in our land, even in Nigeria. And now, just watch Nigeria. How many countries in Nigeria? Just 3 or 4 countries. Are they living fine? Are they living as an example? The answer is no. So imagine where you count about 50-something countries that made up Africa, then you carry one black man and made him a president of those countries. Yeah. A lot of things will happen. So, Mazi, I appreciate you, and I want to end it here, and I say, keep it on, Mazi. It shall be well with you. There, Mazi.
There, well. Simple Nigeria. Let them Nigeria that has a different nations in it. Let them think about Nigeria. I'll take example from Nigeria. Pan-Africanism, genuine one, will come when people are given their due respects. Different nations are accorded their rights to self-governance. That is when mutual respect will come, and that time peace will reign. Now people will start talking about coming together, like European Union. You first of all prepare your house now before you go outside. That is how it is. Caller on signal, Mazi Emikris. Can you hear me?
I can hear you much like a good evening.
There were Mazi. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I thank you for your program. It's always a program which is very sweet. I love to listen to it. To me, for what you're saying about Pan-Africanism or whatever, to me, it doesn't exist. Only in words, verbally, that's where it exists.
Mazi, on the KG earpiece. On the KG earpiece, your voice is sounding somehow.
Let me remove it. So, it used to happen on your phone, on your car. Are you hearing me clear?
Yes, well, their voice is doing it now. Before now, on the
Okay, thank you. Sorry for that. Pan-Africanism they're talking about, I don't see any atom of movement from them or whoever is talking about it. For me, this are brother that come from Palestine say something very cogent. The house might be the agent, secret agent are pushing the people to go this way. Because those talking Pan-Africanism, when you near them, you find out that when you talk about the individual states or individual countries, they come against it. It seems to them that if we say better, let us be one country. But it's practically impossible to be one country. Because now, this is what Italy did. When they formed European Union of Schengen states using the same euro, then Italy does not make a very big calculation. They enter into the union of using the same euro. Why Italy is using lira then? Then this lira, one lira then is equivalent to $50. Let me say that $50. So now they get into the euro. Then the product they are saying here, why in Germany using Dutch mark, then they are paying their workers about 1,000 something Dutch mark, which is equivalent to dollars. Then why here in Italy they are paying their workers almost the same thing, but it's thousands of milliliter, 100 something thousand milliliter. You know, so when they get into the union, the price of things become double to them. So what they buy 50 cents for us, they become €1 to them. You know, in order to balance the equation of the exchange between Germany and other countries that have a higher currency, Italy suffered a lot of many years for this. I've not even got out of it. Then some countries also said no, that they will not go. They will retain, like Switzerland retain their own money. They don't want to change their own money. Even England was in the European Union, they refused to change their own money. They maintain their own pounds then. But other countries like Germany, France, Holland, all this, they went into the euro because some of them, but those that pay the price are like Italy and some like Romania that get inside them are paying the price, but at least they have curtailed the problem a little bit. So what am I saying here is that if, for instance, in South Africa now, where they are paying their money now is higher than Nigerian money, it's equivalent to maybe their money now is about 1,000 of their money is about 700 1,000 something dollars. So now, if we make one African country and then after, how would you pay the workers? The same thing you are paying those in South Africa is what you are going to pay those in Nigeria. In other words, there will be a cheating and people will not be happy with it. And the country will not stand as one African country. It cannot stand. First of all, if they want to talk about Pan-Africa, they should be dismantling the border system they have created. But here, as I'm here in Italy now, I can travel to Greece, which is Southern Europe. I can travel to Norway, Northern Europe, and the Central Europe, like Belgium and others, with ordinary my document. Then Italians can go with other national ID cards. Now, tell me, if I want to go to Zimbabwe now, I need a visa to go because it's South Africa. Unless I go there illegally, but if I want to officially go there, I need a visa. So they should begin to dismantle the border issue. Then when they dismantle the border, everybody will become doing that. Then if you see the harmony, the business transaction will link us together, and then we talk about how to become one country or one Africa, either everybody on their own currency, but we use one common system. That is what we're talking about. Like Europe, I just give example before I call in. European Union here, they have their European Union, but every country are managing their own affair according to their own country. It does not mean that they're not Europe. They are also Europe. They play football together as we are, do everything together. They travel, they leave the border open because people from Italy now may go to France now to play football. Their fans will go, the fans of Milan will go to France, will go to England without seeking for visa, because they are playing the same European tournament. So they keep the border open, but in Africa, they lock down the borders. And now the African talking about the Pan-Africanism, and those, when you talk about them, see, if Biafra go, we need to come together. We are talking about to separate. I have a brother here who always said such a thing. We are trying to come together. It is practically impossible to come together to manage the kind of system we have find ourselves, because the system we are managing today in the world today are being created by the West. And we have followed them to manage the system. For you to break the system, you need millions of people that have brain to break the system. They have already installed the system and went back to their country, and the system are functioning. So we are practicing all the good things they have created: the monetary system, the financial system, the governing body system, the administrative system. What the so-called democracy now is what we are, all of us are practicing, but that is not democracy. So, but they brought it to us. Morocco are practicing it. Tunisia are practicing it. Libya are practicing it. Everybody are practicing it. Now, the monetary system now, can you say that you will not use money again? Now, you watch the video that this man always, the white man, analyze about the Africa, how they hold Africa down. He said that Africa are now, they produce a system, the global institution you are seeing, that is meant to hold sub-Saharan Africa down. And these global institutions are made, there are people managing it. For instance, he said, banana. What banana? Banana, you know how banana tastes. You won't eat banana, know what it tastes. But when you produce your own banana, you don't make to them for them to determine how much they will buy the banana. They will not buy your product. They will not tell you it's not. That's why they open the World Food Program. They will tell you that it doesn't meet to the standard. They needed to market in the global market. Therefore, you will not sell your banana. But banana that grow in my village is more better than the one that's selling in Europe here. But because you are not aligned to them, do you know what they're doing this? They don't want you to hike the price of banana to decide it. So they are the ones deciding the price of banana. So if banana will cost 3 pieces here, €1.50, €1.10 or a kilo, then they don't want it so that tomorrow there are people who wake up and say that the banana they are buying €1 per kilo is now €5 per kilo. No, they maintain the price. The price remains the same. So what do they mean that everything they need, they got it within the fuel price remain almost stable, and the fuel is there always, the gas is there always. All those products coming from Africa to Europe and from South America to Europe here, the price are more or less steady. The difference cannot change like 1 cent or 10 cents or 20 cents or 50 cents. It cannot change. And before they will change, government must know. So how do they maintain the price? Because of those institutions they have created, they use it to oppress us. And for us to liberate ourselves from this institution, we need 1 million Africans that have brain, know what to do. And we know how to manage them, but not something with force. We use gradual, like for instance, they're taking cocoa from our land. I remember when Ghana president said that the Ghana are looking forward to manage their own cocoa and they process it within themselves. That was, he said it, the Switzerland president there, who was there, I think so, or the minister, she got angry for the man to make that comment, and they will go into working against it. That is what we don't do. in our land. We don't do it. Yesterday we were talking about religion. Our people, after the white people came, they introduced their first religious system and they call it religion. But they went into continue working, finding out some things they make mistake, trying to correct it so that it will suit up to what they want, even the Bible, because there are things we write from the Bible, if you have maybe 30 years Bible ago, go and take it and read today's one. You will see differences, but now I will tell you that it's English explanation or translation, maybe. That's how they put it. But they saw the mistake they made in writing the Bible. They're now gradually correcting them so that it will suit up to what they want. And that is why I'm going to work and continue working. But our people, in a little small thing, everybody go to sleep. Just like after Biafra war, everybody went to sleep. And the finally continue working to oppress us till today. Our brother, Joseph Carlo, shed tears, the whole man like this cried in the Senate. He think that they're pity for him because he cried. They cannot pity for you because you cry. So the problem is that our problem generally in Africa is that we don't work towards to maintain what we have or to revolutionize that things or make it more better. Anytime we have something, we relax there and go and just make me abandon it there, think that it will continue. Everything we are doing. So for we to move forward, we need to bring millions of people, thousands even, that can even sit down and analyze our problem and work towards it. Then we talk about Pan-Africa. But before Pan-Africa will exist, all these countries like Togo people will become Togo people, Igbo people will become Yoruba people will become. Then we find a way to make laws that guide us. Like for instance, in Italy here, for Italy, the Italian person to go to Germany here, you see, we are working at their food is coming from Germany. The Italian owner coming from Germany from Italy to Germany. They are from Greece. All the places they are doing yogurt in Greece and they send them here. So they are doing bilateral business and agreement. So they reach some certain things. Now, if I take my product like palm oil and take it to Morocco people will tell you that they don't need it because it's from Nigeria. So we have to have a mutual respect. First of all, we have to get our own country before we talk about Pan-Africa. So anybody talking about Pan-Africa, for me, it's wasting time. The first thing to do is to set up individual states and countries. Then we know how to unite ourselves through a mutual respect and other things. Thank you, Mazi, and God bless you.
There were, and you too. Before everything, you must put your house in order. That is one thing. The European Union, you see today that borders, it was not like this before. They first of all build their countries, put their houses in order first. Now, before socializing with their neighbors and trying to open. In Africa, you open border like this, terrorists everywhere. Look at Nigerian borders unmanned. What is happening? Terrorists from everywhere flocking in, only to kill. What's up? Welcome to the program. Can you hear me? Call on WhatsApp.
Mazi, is that me?
Of course. There it seems to be Mazi Nade.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm on my train. I'm heading to San Bernardino, but I had to go to a cargo, so I have to be able to talk. And only myself sitting here. So I thank you. I listen to you every day. I sleep on your voice every day. But this has become so important today that I must wait on the phone until you pick me. Now, I am mostly concerned about. I have something to pitch in on the safe how Malaysia and Singapore and how all these countries break up, decide to go and think the loud. Okay, so that was so interesting, and I have something a little different from what you said that might help us understand why these things, how these things go. The separation of this, whether it is Yugoslavia, whether it is the British breaking away from EU or whatever they do. Now, our own is different. We cannot do it the way they did, and we're not going to blame ourselves. But first of all is to know the center of gravity. Remember what that connote you bring to us all the time. We listen to one Nigerian soldier that talks to us about center of gravity.
Yes, yes.
So the center of gravity, our center of gravity is different from every other center of gravity. Our center of gravity is oil and gas. And that is where we live. And it makes it so complex now when there is that pipeline coming from Abia, coming from Igbo, coming from our area. So our enemies are not just Nigerians. Our enemies are worldwide. Our enemies are America. Our enemies are those who don't want us to go nowhere. They're all spread all over. But to tell you the truth, Nigeria wants to display. They understand what you're saying even more than you understand it. The Hausa wants to go. The Hausa Fulani want to break away. The Yoruba want to go. But the center of gravity is the oil and gas. So how are we going to do it? If IPOB, and I'm suggesting, I don't know how I'm going to say this, that IPOB should educate our leaders to find a way to form a line to communicate with your veterans. If you don't do for all this struggle, the advantage the IPOB has is that you have veterans, that they are not making use of our veterans. No, our veterans sit there and people are not tapping into the use you have, your real veterans. You know why the veterans are not acting? And I have an example. Many of us are not acting. You know, an Igbo man has a pride. Not pride because he thinks you're going to disrespect him. We like to pitch in. We have not identified the veterans as people who will not be playing the same role as the role you play. In other words, for instance, I travel to Los Angeles where I live. I'm a white, they're not doing anything like other people are doing all over the world. LA is the lowest in participation in looking for Biafra. And I finally got someone that called me because I always talk to Mazi, what's his name? And someone called me and asked me, are you a member of IPOB? I said, yes. Did you swear an oath? I said, yes. Oh, well, we have a different oath. You are going to swear. I said, first of all, let me introduce myself to you. I'm a veteran. I fought a war. I was an army officer during the war. He said, that's not what is more important. The important thing is we want to get you sworn in. Number two is you pay your dues. So here, I want you to hear, there is no nation that is on this earth except what I heard. You tell someone who tells you he is a veteran, how much are you paying? It is true, I pay. I subscribe, I pay every month. They take my money away from me. IPOB, whatever bank. But guess what? I found out that the money they took from me was one of the monies that meant nothing to the organization because they were all stolen. I don't want to go further. So when your veterans know that you are going to tax them or you're expecting a contribution from them, you're not going to get anything from your veterans. They are poor, but they have a wealth of knowledge in their head. But the Biafra is not tapping into the wealth of experience. And all of you, from those who were born long before the war to those who are fighting now, age Martin and the Kano, to your age and every one of us, they are doing very well, but you're doing it all by yourself.
You're not tapping into the wealth of knowledge of your veterans. And the veterans are not willing to give. They don't even know, they don't have a time to stay on the phone to wait for Mazi Jonathan to give them chance to talk. They can't wait like many people can. So you are not, in fact, you have to make an effort to open a line called veteran line, or veteran, whatever you call us. So you can ask us, how are we going to build this? Now, let me go back to what I told you about center of gravity. That center, how are you going to solve it? Is it me identifying our problem without telling you as a military man how we can solve it? How we're going to solve it is the center of gravity is our oil and gas. And the only way we would take Britain, the only way we will take America away is when they begin to hear we attack the center of gravity. We train our little boys, we train our young girls, we don't have to go to war. We make sure we attack that oil line. Well, make sure we destroy it. The moment we destroy that thing that gets the interest of Nigeria, that's what is holding Nigeria. The oil and gas, the Yorubas are interested. Not they're interested, they own it. They seem to own it. The Hausas seem to own it. The Fulani seem to own it. And every time we're talking, we're not really talking like we're at war. That's the only thing. The moment those things don't exist, they let us go. They know that they don't even want to share with an Igbo. And I'm just telling you, Jonathan, you guys have to reorganize the articulations and how you talk about this, what we're going through. Now, I give you another chance to look at this. Biafra is an occupied country. We are occupied. In normal warfare, your enemy will be on the other side, and you are on this side fighting. That is real warfare. They throw bomb at you, you throw bomb at them. You shell them back, and they shell them, and they shell you back. That is in regular warfare. But in this case, we are occupied. Every military in Biafra is there watching what us to make one. They have intelligence also. They are not just using the gun shooting. They're using their brain. They have friends. There are people they finance. There are people they feed. There are people they give advantage to go to North and carry tomato and do all these things without. The army barracks in Biafra are already set up. If you ignore that they have an intelligence system, warfare is coming from the Fulani. The warfare is also within the military garrisons in Biafra. So what are we going to do to fight this? We do what they did to America in Iraq. We do what they did to America in Syria. We do what they do because we are weak. We don't have it. We are occupied people. The only way an occupied people can fight is not by going to the street and yelling or shooting gun. I'm going to use this language. I've been afraid to bring it up. You know why? I will tell you why. Sometimes you say, go ahead and talk. I'm going to say it. From me. The world is going to hear from me. It may cost me something, but I don't give a shit what it does. Jonathan, have you heard what they call IED? Hello?
Yes, of course. Improvised explosive device.
Do you know what IED does? What IED is when you are occupied, when your country is occupied. It is the weapon of the coward. It's the weapon of the defenseless. You build it by yourself. It doesn't need high tech. You melt iron and do it until you put gunpowder. You put detonators. So you make it uncomfortable because your enemy, even if they know you are doing it, but they don't know how you're going to come around them. You wait, wherever they move, they know they can't go too fast in your land. They cannot move too fast. You don't allow them to go anywhere they want because when they go anywhere they want, their vehicles will be blown apart and they don't know who did it. When you understand that we make the land uncomfortable for these motherfuckers, excuse my words, they will know we are doing it and we agree we're doing it, but you don't know who is doing it to you. Do you know that America in Iraq cannot live in the garrisons they used to have? They moved. They moved far away. The train is talking. They move far away from where they are and go and have their own establishment. You know why? Because they cannot drive around the cities because there are IEDs. There are IEDs all over. And if you go to your internet right now, Google IED, they tell you that it's a weapon of terrorists. Why? Become terrorists because you don't allow them to move around your town and come and sit on you and shit on you. So when you guys are communicating with your veterans, you should be able to know, how do you do it? I can show you how to build IED. There are so many things we learned. I was a buff officer before I became an infantry. There are so many of us all over Biafra. None of you are tapping into us because we don't have a way of joining, being open, because you're going to be requiring us. Did you contribute? We can contribute. Rather, you give to us. The veterans are given to veterans. Los Angeles, I have been challenged and told that I should be paying $76 a month into the Biafra cause. And when are you going to send your fee? I laughed at them, even though I am contributing. So every veteran hearing that, we stay away. We are not joining you in what you're doing, not because we couldn't. We know so much we can offer you guys so that you know we can do it. We don't need to go too far to scare Nigerians and get them out of Biafra. But I don't know. I may not have time to talk so much and go there and there. So, Jonathan, if you get anything from listening to me, I'm sure there are young people listening to me right now. And so IED is something you can do by yourself.
Of course, there were Mazi not dead. Your points are taken. I understand you are on the train in a public space. I understand that. And you made some valid points of allowing or making veterans or giving them a line. That is also something, you know. I understand. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. And, you know, IPOB is a voluntary movement that, as you say, you have something to offer, you come in. Because we don't know who is who. It is the attraction of, IPOB to like-minded people. IPOB, you know, Mazi Nnamdi started preaching on this radio for, if not more than 10 years. And people started coming out voluntarily. It's a voluntary service, you know. It is not something that you go from house to house and calling people, come and help us in this. Because the radio is, you are listening from every part of the world. You have something to offer. Okay. You meet our family. Like as you say, I understand you very well about the contributions of veterans, you know. But I think that if you approach a family like where you are and explain to them that, look, I will not be able to contribute, but I have other things also that I can contribute, I think it will also be accepted, because we don't pursue people because of maybe your inability to contribute. No. Genuinely. Let me bring in Mazi Nnamdi. Please, I understand your point. You made valid points. I understand that. You know. So I understand that, and we have taken note anyway. That's it. Let me see. Caller on signal. Welcome to the program. Can you hear me? Thank you for waiting for 16 minutes. Caller on signal. There were.
Hello. Okay. Good evening, Biafrans and lovers of freedom. My name is Ifan Chukwumada Buchi, and I'm coming from the Netherlands. Thank you, my brother. I want to start here that rape or genuine Pan-Africanists or Pan-Africans will not support the recolonization of Africa and occupation of Africa by deployment of or invasion of Africa by neo-colonists and imperialists. So Togo, where they say they are constituting their army, and Ghana of all places. I remember the West African Frontier Force, which was formed, and now Ghana is again allowing the proposed settlement of foreign army in their land. Benin Republic and Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, they must rethink and then re-strategize about this proposed military deployment, because there's something we say in Igbo language. It goes like this: Obugi will oba kunye mmiri wishioku no inatakwe oba, which means you can take your cup or gourd to give water to the monkey. That is easy. The problem is retrieving the gourd or the cup from the monkey. And so, not to put ourselves in impossible positions, are we trying to say that today, the date in 2021, Togo, Ghana, Benin Republic, and which ones else, and Cote d'Ivoire, and all African countries cannot organize and train their armed forces to fight the whoever they need to fight, the terrorists anywhere, because that is the smoke screen they are using to come in. This is a kind of derogatory to Africans and insult. But people must not forget that there are abound reports of such deployment being used to secure vital mineral resources and then meddle in domestic and domestic politics and policies. And I give you an example of northern Nigeria, the Zambeza forest. Who do we wonder why it hasn't been attacked and evacuated and leveled? And we heard from a reliable source that those people there are guarding a very vital, very expensive mineral that they call californium, that cost upward to $27 million plus dollars per gram. And somebody who is there operating will tell you they are fighting terrorism. Year in, year out, they are fighting terrorism. Terrorism never move away from where they are, and they're not making practical military advance into the forest to show that they're fighting terrorism. So what I'm saying is that let's not be deceived again. And secondly, genuine Pan-Africans and AU altogether can't be comfortable or silent when some countries are dominated by one family or one man, or when elections are rigged and democracies are truncated. For example, I can call Equatorial Guinea, you can call Togo, you can call Congo Brazzaville, you can call Cameroon, and look at Nigeria of this year. The 2023 election is known to have been rigged. What have ECOWAS said about it? What have you said about it? Only to let Nigeria be gathering a storm to go and fight for democracy in Niger Republic. Is Nigeria a democracy? You know, to create a functional Pan-African or Pan-Africa, you must have stable nation states, like our brothers who have spoken before me said. Before you can create a good Africa Union, or for instance, I or we as Biafrans and Amazonians can't be held down in Nigeria and in Cameroon, and you're talking to us about Pan-Africanism. Let's say build one African state and one African Union and one president. You are talking to yourself, because we want to be free from oppression and from people who are sitting on our head. Then we can, as I'm a Pan-African by my bones and marrows and my liver, but we want to be free from Nigeria first, because Nigeria is a scam, it's a con on humanity, a crime against humanity. Lastly, but not least, the countries that shout democracy and constitutional order must practice what they preach. They cannot be supporting dictators, criminals, treasury leaders, election riggers, and power usurpers, and they are crying democracy and constitutional order. They make themselves incredible, just unbelievable. God bless Biafra. Thank you, my brother.
Good night. And there were. Thank you very much. You have said it all. I'm now joined by Mazi Aizayoba, who is a member of the DOS and the Deputy European Rep. Mazi Aizayoba, please welcome the program. You will go on to conclude the program for us. Please, Mazi. There were.
No, Mazi Jonathan, good evening from here. Am I coming out very clear, please?
You are, Mazi. Go on, please.
Thank you so much. Good evening from here, and good evening to our listeners and our audience. Good evening to Biafrans all over the world, IPOB family. Of course, my special regards to our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who happens to be the leader of this great movement. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a prisoner of conscience. He was kidnapped in Kenya by the Nigerian state that broke all the international laws and their own domestic law, went to another sovereign state, another country in Africa, kidnapped the leader of this movement, who established this Radio Biafra that everyone is listening today, both the enemies and the friends and well-wishers of Biafrans all over the world. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a prisoner of conscience. The competent court of jurisdiction of Nigeria discharged and acquitted him, but Nigeria, in their own usual way, continue to disobey their own domestic law and also international law. So Nigeria is no longer viable. Nigeria is no longer a country that obeys rules of law. Nigeria have violated the international law and their own domestic law, and we are letting the world know, and we are exposing Nigeria today before the world that Nigeria is not independent. Nigeria is not a democratic state or a country.